Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your monthly peace report. This is the Peace Dealer, and we're going to break down Virgo season 2025. Shout out to you all in the chat. All right, let's get this show on the road. We are going to really illuminate how real the realist sign is going to break things down for us. Okay, 2025 Virgo season has been an exciting season for me. I never thought I would look forward to a Virgo season, but the last few years since the world ended, starting 2020, Virgo seasons have been so crucial, especially as we've had Neptune in Pisces. And there's just so much deception and false narratives out there. And Virgo really helps with bringing the facts. You can lie with facts. You can lie with statistics. So Virgo in and of itself isn't the sole savior. Oh, but it does come in handy when society crunches numbers and produces perspectives that challenge collective narratives that, as we've seen, were enforced for us to basically swallow whole. Pause. That being said, it'd be interesting to see, of course, how we navigate through this Virgo season relative to the importance of this year. I want you to look at Saturn and Neptune at the beginning of Aries. They are retrograding back into Neptune. Thankfully, the planet this is working today. As you can see, by Libra season, Saturn will be back in Pisces, and by Scorpio season, Neptune will be too. And by Sagittarius season, they're still retrograde. And by Capricorn season, they're direct. Okay. So as you can see, by the time we end the year off, Saturn and Neptune are ready to go back into Aries. What this period is called is the phase out. What we are phasing out is the last 30-year cycle that we actually had with Saturn going through the planets. 27 years ago, 98, all the crash outs that are being that are coming of age right now were born. We didn't know that they were an entire generation of crash outs that were going to burn up everything we believed in this world. We didn't know that they were getting ready to rebel against everyone. We didn't know that they tuned out to older generations and are a huge problem for Gen Virgo or Pluto Virgo. We didn't know anything, but we do know that now we are phasing out this previous 30-year cycle as we do every 30 years. And it's cool. Like, think about the 60s, think about the 90s, think about the 30s before that, think about now the 2000s. Change is the only constant. So the idea that there is going to be development isn't necessarily uncommon. But if you understand it like this, and you know that Saturn is getting ready to go into a new cycle, it gives you an idea of the nature of this new world order we're establishing. Now, like I said before, the idea of Saturn repeating 30-year cycles in and of itself doesn't automatically make it a new age. It makes it a new cycle. And this is where now tying in these outer planets like Pluto and like Neptune, if we go back 27 years, right? We go back another 27 into the 70s. Neptune is in Sag. Pluto is in Libra. They take a much longer time to orbit around the zodiac, or in this case, around the sun, realistically. Okay. So Neptune's presence in Aries hasn't been here since the first Civil War. Uranus takes 85 years to go around the block. Last time Uranus, which will be retrograded back into Taurus by this period, was in Taurus, America had its Great Depression. And by the time it was in Gemini, we were in World War II. So it's important to take into account these cycles, as history may or may not repeat itself, but really the consequence and karma of all these actions, positive and negative, because we look at karma as a bad thing, but it's outside of like morality, like whether it's good or bad to you, could fit within that. but it exists outside of that. Really, the consequences, whether good or bad, of all the actions taken throughout the past 2 centuries with Pluto, the past century and a half with Neptune, and in the past 30 years with Saturn, are all coming back around, which take into account society, all sorts of individuals with their living experiences, what they contributed, how that affects new people being born, how that affects us. We're getting ready to move forward with that. And yeah, for all intents and purposes, this may lend to the chaotic nature, is always chaos, but the chaotic nature of what we're getting ready to initiate. So I just wanted to give you that understanding. Saturn and Neptune by Capricorn season will be direct, and get ready by Aries season to activate this new cycle in principle. But we're not there yet. For now, it is retrograde. And the major aspect we're going to see is this Sun opposition to Saturn as we end Virgo season off in this vein. Yeah. So with that being said, the science of Virgo as a zodiac sign, Gemini is the idea. We start the mutable block with Gemini. Everything starts with an idea, right? Or a belief, but that belief is processed through an idea. We take those ideas, right? We could see Gemini as experimentation. You make your hypothesis. It's time to set variables and experiment. Then we analyze the data after you have certain thoughts, after you explore your ideas. You want to really see what about these ideas are actually grounded in reality. Okay. And this is what makes Virgo as the social mutable sign now more somewhat objective as a yang definer. It is an earth sign. It is real. Okay. Opposite of Pisces, which is imagination, astral. And now we analyze what's real about these thoughts. It is through critique. Hence, Gemini is your individual thought. It's just you. Virgo is taking your individual thoughts with other individuals and going in on each other about this is what sets up the axis of debate. Forensics, Virgo, and debate, Libra, presenting your arguments. And that's why it is social. That's why Libra is law. This is the process of what you do through the research of Virgo to present and bridge this towards the others, making agreements backed by facts or some real critical perspective. So Virgo represents social criticism, social expectations, real social dynamics. And now once we have this analysis of what's real through the facts, we synthesize the meaning of those facts with Sagittarius. And then the meaning of the experience allows us to draw our belief, closing this loop of reasoning before we do it again. And as such, we can adjust our perspectives. Okay. So Virgo is going to represent the breaking down of anything into each of its individual components. So this phone is made up of many different parts. And what Virgo specializes in its critique is breaking down each individual part. Opposite of Pisces, that looks at these individual parts as a universal collective sign and sees how all those individual parts are interrelated and connected. Okay, so that's where the critical nature of Virgo's perspective comes in. We break it down, baby. And the groundedness doesn't necessarily always take into account what you may feel or what you believe, hence how it could come off as harsh, albeit Virgo is kindness. It is applied love. It is the application of Leo. Kindness is love in motion. And this really, as a social sign, enables you to ground the natural senses of Taurus and now express the experience of this natural awareness, these grounded physiological senses through how it is you form your opinions and you're able to perceive what's really around you. Okay. So with that being said, Gemini answers the question, what? We're going to go in reverse. Pisces answers the question, why? Gemini is the word in the dictionary. Sagittarius is the meaning of the word in that dictionary. It answers, what does this mean or where? And Virgo answers, how. If you ever ask, how is this happening? Just always answer Virgo. It's vague. It doesn't really describe anything, but it's still right. Okay. So, how always goes into analysis. How can we break down how things work? Instructional videos, right? How to do this, how to do that. That's all Virgo. It is a process. It rules the sixth house of consistency and the routine that shapes your behavior and forms behavioral patterns. So relative to this interpretation, the Virgo season that we are going through is a year. Every zodiac sign transit is a yearly firmware update where we update relative to what we did last year. That means last year you changed your behavior. You implemented new routines. And it's nothing that you necessarily have to do consciously, because people implement new routines every part of the year. People do not just wait until September to say, I'm going to start a new routine. So I'm really just talking about the language relative to what it represents and whether you're aware of it or not, what you are doing. Because whether you're aware of it or not, last Virgo season, you behaved in a certain way. You were either conscious or unconscious of it. And the unconscious habits you developed through repetition harvested where you're at now. And this is where, once again, we can't necessarily blame the astrology versus what you did during these periods. This brings the power back to you so that you can adjust, you can change, you can sharpen, you can polish, you can do better. Okay. So relative to how you have behaved and integrated that behavior, formed beliefs, formed mindsets this year, Gemini, we're coming back to form new habits. The new moon in Gemini, especially the new moon in Virgo, especially, is now the activation of new behavioral patterns. We have officially begun this cycle. So we know not only are we going to activate new behavioral patterns and habits, Virgo represents the sixth house of lifestyle, your life. You can look forward to, over the next 30 days, the total change of your life. So that's the first claim I'm going to make here. By the time we step into October, your entire life is going to change. And not only is your entire life going to change, at the very least, by the time we end Virgo season, coming into September 22nd, September 23rd, you will have changed your behavior in order to point in the right direction to where to begin to now apply this change of behavior. Okay. You also have the choice to reinforce habits that you don't wish to change, negative, bad habits you don't wish to work on. You can now, and that's where we now use astrology. This is how we now align with astrology. We know that this new moon in Virgo is aligning new habits. So now applying conscious intent and awareness to this process aligns you to a conveyor belt where things will flow smoothly and you're not fighting against the current. We're not chained to the stars. So it's not like, oh, I have to do this then, I have to do this then. But knowing that this is happening can hyper accelerate and speed up progress because you are aligned with what the coding is occurring. And then once again, this is my interpretation. So someone may interpret these entirely different and take what I say with a grain of salt, get a second opinion elsewhere. You know, I'll be on point though. So let's go. Now, what is causing me to really speak on this major total life change is the presence of Saturn. Saturn represents totality. Saturn represents completion. This is where we bring everything into account. So 6 months ago, everything we're going through right now is the 180-degree harvest that we activated 6 months ago. And that's a really good way to look at placements and planet transits in astrology. Okay, shout out to Crystalline Priestess. I'm just now looking on Instagram. Shout out to all of you guys who've joined. All right. The way to look at these placements in astrology is that every season we're currently in is manifesting and harvesting what we initially intended 6 months prior. So every new moon that we have, we're going to take 3 months to integrate it, 3 extra months to harvest it, 3 extra months to complete that harvest. But the breakthrough begins at that 180-degree opposition 6-month point to 9 months, at least with the sun. Then we finish the completion, we activate again. And that means we're always constantly changing. We're always constantly picking up and harvesting and breaking through. More onus for you to take conscious, intentional control, because if you don't, you will allow things to happen to you and you will call it fate. I don't remember who said that quote. I don't know if it was Junger or someone else, but there is truth to that. All right. That being said, like I mentioned, we had Saturn, North Node, Neptune, Mercury, and Sun in Pisces, which is an end of the world aspect. I need you to understand that this is quite literally when the end of the world started. And if you think of the apocalypse, if you conflate apocalypse with cataclysm, then you will have expected the apocalypse to be some world-ending event that completely shuts down everything and everyone has to be locked in. I mean, we look at it as some event where we start to question the leaders and authority, and it's like we can't really trust anyone because people are like, sorry. We tend to look at this, okay, as some cataclysmic event where earthquakes happen and wildfires happen and everything burns down. Oh, shit. All right. Anyway, we know that the beginning of the end of the world was 2020 when we had Saturn at Capricorn, the beginning Capricorn of the end. Okay. Then we have the end of the end, Pisces. The world is over. The old world as we know it as of now is done. It's over. It's over. Look at me. It's over. We're phasing it out and we're getting ready to start new. So it's important to see it as that. Saturn with Neptune coinciding a 30-year cycle with a 165-year cycle right after the 248-year cycle with Pluto. So like a whole lot of stuff we're phasing out. And that's why it's important to really study the history during these periods. The last 2 times Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the Protestant Revolution, which is quite literally responsible for most of the Christian denominations that we see today. Then the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we had pretty much the French Revolution, the Russian Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, America's Revolution was right before. So we have a precedent around every time Pluto was in Aquarius. Humanity just decides to wake up for some reason and like really revolutionize. All right. And we'll do actual documentaries to go more in detail around what happened in a way that leaves up the information for you to judge. But in seeing these facets, when you ever see most of these planets, right, at the end of the zodiac, we are ending a certain age, especially because of how slow it takes these outer planets to orbit around the sun, if you believe in a heliocentric model of the universe. But hey, it should work geocentrically as well. Okay. That being said, I want you to notice how there's nothing in the social signs here. There's nothing on the right side here. And this was a period where we were socially distancing back in 2021 with the absence of social planets. When you start to see these patterns, it makes sense now where if we go back, right? If we go back, like once again, let's go back like 27 years. What do you notice? Oh no, that's 98. Yeah. If we go back back to the 70s, right? What do you notice? And let's even go back further to the 60s. If we go back there, we notice now these outer planets are in the social signs. Uranus and Leo, Pluto and Virgo, right? Through the 70s, they shaped forward through the 80s, right? Boom. And I'm primarily talking about these outer planets because the other personal planets always come around every year. Saturn, it's going to take like 30 years to reach that place, right? Jupiter, it's going to take 12 years. But the reason why that's important is when these placements were heavily in social signs, we saw massive social revolutions. Woodstock or Deadstock, the civil rights movement, women's suffrage movements, which spun back farther. And it's not limited to these social periods, but a lot of what we're experiencing now was heavily built and influenced, of course, by what happened during these periods. The reason why I'm using that as a precursor is to now prepare you for the next version of this, because eventually, as we move forward, we are going to see, like in another 18 years, boom shakalaka, Uranus is back in Leo, right? Saturn is in Scorpio. Neptune isn't going to really make it here until a long time. So the period that we're in is still bringing in a new concept of the world, where it looks like with enhanced technology, the push for globalization, one world currency, one world order, may be a possibility. For now, it's going to have to fight against independent state rights and independent nation rights who may fight against that. And not to say that this is a new thing. This is something that's always been in works. And I want to also open up the controversial idea that the idea of globalism may not even be as bad as we may theorize. It doesn't mean it will be good either, but mainly more of an inevitable consequence of people growing closer and communicating closer with each other. So right now, it's important to kind of establish how we are currently shaping the initiation of this new cycle. This is why I call it the entrance into the new world. It's not like the 60s. It's not like the 90s. We are entering we are exiting old paradigms. We always exit old paradigms, but the nature of which we're exiting old paradigms with AI technology taking over everything and removing jobs, but replacing them both for good and bad. Nothing is ever only good and nothing only bad. And and also, putting yourself in a position to see where you fit in and how you demonstrate your uniqueness in a world that will try desperately to strip you of your individuality in order to conform to the hive mind. Once again, not a new concept, something that everyone of every generation will go through, but the focus is going to be so much more prevalent as Saturn goes through Aries with Neptune, which is effectively reimagining how it is we even identify. Once again, this is very important. The last time Neptune was in Aries, the reimagination of the country of America came through in the form of whether the South was going to secede from the North. Like, this was literally an identity crisis. America went through a legitimate identity crisis the last time Neptune was in Aries. And it's gone through a successive series of identity crises since then, but it gives you an idea more the gravity of why this is very important and how this is about to set up World War III, baby, Civil War II. But I don't want to be predicting war. If you know, you know, though. Okay, that being said, it's better to be ahead of the curve than to just wake up and find out that on X, Civil War has started. All right, I wouldn't be surprised if war starts online and then gets taken through into the physical world. You just wake up and everyone is beefing and you don't know why. This is the times that we're in, okay? So with that being said, like I mentioned before, 6 months ago, we had this Pisces aspect, okay? This Pisces unlocking of your beliefs, all right? It's so very important to understand the last 6 months. I want you to really take yourself back to March and guide yourself how you have made it to this point, because in order to fully appreciate and understand this Virgo season, you have to understand it as the fulfillment of God's promise in your life. Okay. Or we can say more realistically, the fulfillment of the belief systems you committed to maintaining. back in March, you had goals, beliefs about who you're going to be this year, what you want to accomplish, taking into account the past 30 years. Some of you aren't even 30 years old yet. And really your whole life up until now, if you're not 30, and where you're getting ready to not only take this, but with the North Node in Pisces, quite literally everything with Saturn, you're meant to believe. This is my honest theory, right? But the North Node coinciding with Saturn and Neptune in Pisces is influence. The North Node is just the shadow of the moon. So the node is not influencing you, but it coincides perhaps with this collective influence. So you're being influenced by the collective unconsciousness to form beliefs that align with who you are. Okay, there are certain things you're meant to believe. That's really my theory, that with the North Node, what you're believing isn't as simple as I just believe it. You are meant to believe it due to this influence we have with the collective unconscious mind and the nature of collective beliefs that are around the world. It's influencing everyone, not the planets, the actual collective nature, whether through the planets or not, that we experience. It's something everyone experiences. And so you are experiencing a myriad of beliefs, and you're either subscribing to these beliefs or you are rejecting these beliefs, or you're integrating and picking and choosing. It is what it is. This is how we're being influenced. So what you are meant to believe is now following up what you are meant to do to carve through your individuality, the individual actions you are quite literally destined to take while the North Node was in Aries. And now we're forming belief systems based off of who you want to be, who you're meant to be, who you are stepping into in this new world. You could say new world, new me, but you're bringing you through. So it's really the next you, new world, next you. Okay. The next version of you. All right. And I think what's very significant here is the idea that, once again, everything that you have believed since March, specifically the middle of March, as we stepped into this new moon and full moon eclipse, is what will break through this Virgo season in the form of habits and behavioral patterns that align with these beliefs. Okay. So it's like, I believe I can become a sexy fashion model, let's say. Okay. And I believe that this was possible, right? Now, through Gemini season, we had the activation of new mindsets. We now integrated ideas and thought processes that support these beliefs. You know what? I think I can do this. You know, there's no reason I can't walk down that runway. I'm sexy as fuck. You know what I mean? Now I'm starting to talk. Mind you, I could be ugly as hell, but it doesn't matter. As much as your willingness to align with the integrity of these beliefs, and to not just let your dreams be dreams, but to make active steps and approaches to align yourself as much as possible to what it is you want to accomplish. Okay. So now I'm in Gemini season. I'm talking to people about possibly how I can even begin to do this. Right. And my mindset has to support these beliefs. I can't be thinking 3 months ago, Gemini season, no, I'll never be a good model. Because if I believe I could be a sexy runway model, but I'm thinking, I don't know if I can do this, that's a clash. We need to align. You need to change your beliefs. Yes, it's the best type of lunacy. It's the best type of lunacy. It's so fun. Your beliefs either have to change to be like, you know, I don't believe I can, but then you'd fold. Or you can change your thoughts to align with his beliefs. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. I'm the sexiest runway model ever. Okay, you could allow a little bit of delusion. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of delusion. I'm the sexiest runway model ever. You want to be as delusional as a rapper who believes they're the greatest rapper alive. It's a competitive sport. If you not acting or claiming that you're the best rapper, why are you really rapping? Like if you're not, you know what I'm saying? If you're not necessarily like coming for the throne, Not that every rapper has. You really could just do your own thing, but you get the attitude, right? And I want you to apply this to every area of your life, right? The confidence that somebody can say my bars are the greatest, even though greater artists exist, is what pushes you forward. It challenges the status quo. You're now a new challenger. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And it's through experience, it's through performing, it's through walking down that model runway and people clowning you or people congratulating you that you can adjust. Oh, I need to work harder on this. Oh, I nailed this. Okay. And not being afraid of, you know what I'm saying? Like the what comes with standing on your own integrity. See, standing on integrity is being willing to take the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be easy. You'll have people hate you for what you believe. You'll have people ridicule you. You'll have people literally try and disrespect you because they take issue with certain ways you behave. Integrity is standing. It's not being forced to take accountability to say what other people want you to say. It's doubling down even on things other people don't like and not playing victim when what you do comes back at you. That's just basic karma. So if my decision and belief in who I think I am loses me access to friendship groups, loses me access to opportunities, integrity is taking that with it and be like, fuck that. I'm going to create other stuff, or I'm going to find a way to maneuver through this. Or if you wish to actually still participate in those things, taking integrity would be taking accountability for what you believe you did wrong and making amends to merge that. Now, here's the thing. The South Node is in Virgo. If the North Node was in social signs, we can promote compromise. You want to be delusionally aligned to who you have demonstrated you are. And this favors those of you who are willing to sacrifice social benefits in order to maintain your identity. This type of energy is like the Aquarius who got made fun of in high school because they were wearing like funky hats. And then 10 years later, everyone wears funky hats and it's cool now. If that person sacrificed their identity in order to fit in with the crowd, only for the rest of the crowd to do what you will feel a certain way. So this is that type of transit where relative to the integrity of who you are, which means you've demonstrated it, you have tested it, Saturn is a tester, and you are content or you feel properly challenged with the good, the bad, and ugly that comes with it, stand on it. Stand on, be willing to be an enemy of every single person else and be willing to die where you stand. We not die. We'll kill other people to protect our spot. But like, you get what I'm saying? Like, don't fold. Don't fold. Don't fold. Don't fold. Do not fold. Don't fold. Don't fold. Don't fold. Especially in a Cancer culture-esque era where especially where most people get it wrong and put false accusations out about other people and then put fake ass apologies. Don't fold. Don't fold. This is the greatest thing you ever do. Do not fold. And that doesn't mean it won't be hard. I mean, then again, most of you made it through 2020, 2021, and 2022. So that prepared you for where we're going through. And in fact, if you made it through that like a boss and you didn't really conform to the bullshit you weren't supposed to conform to, you're going to skate through the rest of this decade. I'm going to tell you that right now. Because when this comes back around to test you, you've already been through the block. You've already been threatened to lose your job, to lose access to this space. And you're like, fuck you, bitch. No, I'm not wearing that mask. Okay, cool. And I know that might not sound like the best thing. I'm not trying to make a case either for or against. It works the other way around as well. If you wore a mask, if you took the jab because that's what you believe in, and you were going against people ridiculing you, calling you, oh, you got the vax, you got the jab, you stood on your integrity. So it's not about you chose that side over that side. It's whatever side you were on, you stood on it. You stood on it. You took the good, the bad, and the ugly with it. Making sure we're very clear, because everyone has a role to play. Some people's roles are to be an antagonist to you. You're meant to be an antagonist to them or a protagonist to them. And they have to play their role right to challenge you necessarily in the ways that allow you to grow more in your character. You cannot be afraid to challenge, which is especially what this Virgo season is going to heavily reality check you in. because it's very easy to get so lost in your beliefs and ideas. They don't really have a basis in reality. And this is where now, through stubbornness and denial, instead of growing and challenging ourselves to adapt, okay, you end up really just going down this pathway of delusion. And even then, that might be good for some of you. Some of you need to just be lost, completely delusionally, get that experience. So I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong. I'm just going to make sure, stand on whatever the fuck you're doing. In fact, if you want to fold, fold. If you want to just fold and willy-nilly and just be tossed around, do that too. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I advise personally that you do not fucking fold. Okay, like you have spent so much time, especially over the past few years, awakening facets of you that, you know, only you and the universe will understand, right? See, not everything that is revealed to you is for everyone else. You have a unique set of experiences, and you have a unique set of course, well, you have a unique set of life experiences that make you unique to the next individual that doesn't always align with conventional norm. And that's necessary to innovate new ways of thought. It also opens you up to be challenged, which is a good thing, because you either break down through the challenge and either have to align with it, or you're able to stand your own and build something through that. Unfortunately, we're in a period of time where people are above being challenged. If you challenge someone's opinions, if you challenge someone's beliefs, like being defensive is one thing. I can be very defensive myself, but I'm still down to argue, right? I'm still down to completely, you know, go back and forth. Some people feel above being challenged. If you challenge their beliefs, now they're saying you're racist. You're a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Like you're it's like the oversensitivity has kind of softened a lot of people. Not everybody, not everyone. Like what we see on the media is not what happens in real life, but not everybody, right? I'm not saying it's happening to everyone, but it's not something you want to adapt moving forward, where it's going to be rife with challenges. The challenge to activate a brand new society coming into the rest of the decade and the next 2 decades, we're forming a new society. And this is where this is nothing new. This is nothing new. We're forming a new society, meaning new generations of children are being born that will be 20 then, that will be 30 then. And they're going to make up the workforce. It's going to phase out the older generation that brought us here. Okay, so this happens in 30-year cycles, 100-year cycles, 200-year cycles. All right. And to see all these converge, let us know the unique times that we are in. And so that's why, once again, okay, if you look at this period as the breakthrough of habits that align with dreams you've had, you're going to get very excited, because one thing I know is that this eclipse in March revealed profound beliefs about who you are that might be hard to believe. So I want you to comment revelation, okay, if you have been revealed things about yourself you would have never believed before, that people would feel you're crazy for, and that you have been able to demonstrate is real. This is vague as fuck. So literally it can apply to everybody. I'm not going to lie. Like that's pretty vague. I'm not being specific here. Anyone can relate to that, but let's keep it vague. If you have been revealed very profound insights that key you into a divine or out of this world understanding, namely things that might deviate from what you were taught in school about who you are and about what is real, that you were able to demonstrate, because so many people believe stuff that go against science and it's fucking delusional. If you were asked them, like if you ask somebody to create a flat earth model map, they're always going to use the globe or the round earth to do it. It's hard to really find someone to do that. And I'm not going to discredit that belief, but most people aren't necessarily able to do that, right? And I'm just using that as an example, okay? Not to really demonize the belief or anything, but just the idea that some people have beliefs, but not everyone can translate those beliefs into anything real. You have received divine revelation that is consistent and that can be demonstrated, even if other people don't understand it in the moment, even if people never understand it. It's true for you. It's actually real. And this is very important because society counters the individual that thinks they know too much or can do everything so that we can maintain balance. However, society can also strip your individuality and cause you to doubt things that are actually true because it's not real to them. So that's the balance. You have to make sure you don't overstep your bounds and you don't let other people overstep their bounds in the boundaries you've drawn. Okay. So for those of you who have typed in revelation, the reason why you want to get excited is because now over the past 6 months, right? And we have receipts. This is the thing. We had 2 I told you so tours last year, South Node Libra. So we have receipts. You know what I'm saying? Someone like the Leo King has receipts of stuff he's predicted, still putting on, right? Amongst other people who are putting their money where their mouth is. And they're not just saying shit, they're demonstrating it, right? They're showing that there's a real basis to what they know. This is important for some of you pioneering fields, creating fields, right? And you know, shout out to Olive. You know, this is very important for Aquarius. Aquarius represents universal knowledge, right? The new generation of Aquarians with Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius that have clear cognizant knowledge of universal truths. I really love how you said that the other day. That's going to sound like nonsense to most people. And that's why I love that you said I am being so delusional now to the general crowd. Who cares if posts go viral or not anymore? We're coming back to authenticity. The idea that, you know, this can't flop. I need this to be the best versus this is me. This is what I feel like doing. And you're now resetting and rebuilding your support base based on who actually fucks with you for you. And this is where the South Node in Virgo and Libra are weeding away the casuals and the flakes who would rather move forward with an idea of you than who you truly are. Because what is needed right now is your authentic self more than ever. I mean, it's needed all the time, but more than ever. Okay. And now everything you were revealed that you have receipts for through Gemini, this increased the synchronization between synchronicities. You see that confirmed. It's like the if you typed in revelation, you have seen a profound element of synchronicities that have reinforced your beliefs and helped shed away doubt, especially if you've been practicing the law of assumption. Now Virgo season is going to wrap around the real deal experience around this. You're going to have a practical, real experience that takes what we believed in Pisces, in our imagination, and thought in Gemini. So far, we've activated beliefs and we've activated mindsets. This is the yin element. The yin represents the water and air, the mind that governs imagination. None of that shit is physical. You cannot touch a thought. Even though thoughts are things, you know, whether through frequencies or whatever, you can't touch a thought. You can't touch a belief. So when we get to fire and earth and fire are yang. This is now the physical counterpart. When you make a car, when you make a building, you have to design it first. Everything starts with the yin and expresses through the yang. No building was, even if you were making it from scratch, you still have to imagine what you're doing. So you build the architecture, you draw the design, that's the yin, and now you start to build around it. So you have at this point for this year finished the design of the architecture, the self-concept and belief of who you are. And that's where Saturn in Pisces was very specific and significant, because these aren't just beliefs we're activating like the normal Pisces season. This is integrity, Saturn, of beliefs. practicing what you preach. And this is what is allowing throughout this period all these frauds to be exposed. All these people who have been preaching beliefs, preaching ideas that now when it comes for them to practice it, in practice, it doesn't translate. This has happened for you individually, where you have called yourself out on stuff you need to be met better with, or if anything, just swept under the rug and are paying for now. This is with people socially around you, people who have authority, who are abusing that authority, and even at the collective government level where it's all happening. It's all happening. All right. So with that being said, why that's very significant is the integrity of these belief systems are taking into account everything you have ever believed and testing them. That's it. It's like putting a car through standard testing, right? Before I put a car out into the market, I have to put it through a series of tests, because if people buy these cars and they're not up to standard and they start breaking down, we have to recall all the vehicles. We're going to lose a bunch of fucking money. Okay. So if we tested at every single facet of the process, almost too much, we're making sure that what we're putting out there isn't going to break down. And this is what's happening with your beliefs. That's why the testing is intense. At a collective unconscious level, your deepest beliefs are being insanely challenged, because we need to push them through the fire as it goes through Aries. Anyone can believe, like I'm saying, I believe I'm fucking sexy. How am I going to believe that when I go into a room of women and they're looking at me like I'm ugly? I know that'll never happen. They look at me as sexy chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Look at this Godiva smooth skin. But what am I going to do if I walk into a room and everyone's like, ew, he's ugly. Look, he ashy as fuck. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just be in denial. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be like, you're delusional. I'm sexy. You don't know what you're talking about. It's my way of standing on it. But that being said, I'll still accept it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a little notes. Okay, I could probably show up with the lineup. You know what I'm saying? Show up a little smoother, work on my hygiene. That is my honest effort to not just let my beliefs be beliefs, right? It's to actually challenge myself to align more with those beliefs. Thankfully, though, I'm a sexy man. You know what I'm saying? I'm way too sexy. Too sexy for my... All right, cool. And this is where now Virgo season is going to revisit this test, okay? And as Saturn goes back into Pisces to reevaluate this integrity of your character and test whether these belief systems are legit, you are forming habits and behavioral patterns that align with these belief systems, okay? Like, I believe I'm sexy as fuck. I believe that I have the sexiest body ever, okay? It's not even a comparison. Or I'm just a little fat because I had a handicap. I can't be out here looking way too sexy. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, other people will feel insecure. Yes, that's a little delusional. Now, I have to match. It's cool for me to be this delusional if I back it up. Now I'm going to align it with habits. I'm working out every day. You know what I'm saying? I'm out there being sexy with my sexy friends. You know what I'm saying? I am aligning a behavior with the belief. Some people will just have the belief. They're going to keep their habits the same, and then they're going to wonder why their dreams aren't coming true. You're not like that. You're going to take this next 30 days. I ran this morning again. I was working out a bit the past 2 weeks. We've reset it. Now I'm working out again. I ran this morning. I'm going to run again tomorrow. I'm fasting. Okay. I'm not eating before 12 and after 8. You think I really want to do this shit? You think I really care about my hygiene and well-being? Please. But I know what I want to achieve. I don't care if I'm supposed to. Don't hit me with that. I don't care. I don't want to. But I know what I want. And so it doesn't matter if I want to do it or not. I'm going to fucking get it done. Okay, I don't exist in this world of shoulds. That should not exist in your vocabulary. Oops, I said should not exist in your vocabulary. You either do it or you don't. Don't waste your time talking about, well, you should have done this and I should do that. Why didn't you do it then? Oh, you should have done this. It's already done. You're talking about something that already happened. What we doing? What we doing? Okay. So just literally be square with yourself and ask yourself how much you are willing to make what you initially believed, okay, be real. Thank you, Elisha. You think I actually want to lift weights and train brutally? But I'm a ninja, nigga. I'm one who endures. Okay, so put the headband on and we gonna make this work. We gonna make that was it's real 85. If you watch It's Real 85, I'm a ninja. I study Taekwondo. Yes, watch that. Club Kotal. Ghetto Combat episode 5, one of the best episodes ever on the internet. So that being said, you feel me? Like this is where the more you forsake and forego immediate gratification, the better it will be for you. And here's the thing. Thank you, Stiz Carreno. Thank you. If you once again take into account, all right, what has already been revealed for you, for all of you typing in revelation, you're not just starting from scratch. Most of you guys watching me are fucking talented as fuck. You're super fucking cool. You have amazing personality. You have gifts. You have talent, whether recognized by other people or not. Okay, so we're already moving forward with some substance. And this is what's going to allow you how to prepare to integrate this all. So up into this point, we have our architecture. We have the model and design for this year. In cooking, you've set the ingredients. We're going to have the paprika. We're going to have the onions here. We're going to have the cookie dough. I don't know how I'd use cookie dough and onions, but just rock with me here. And then we have the potatoes. We have the rice. And now this is where we start cooking. Virgo for me is the video editor. Pisces as well. Pisces is like After Effects. Do Sagittarius visual effects. But like actual editing, this is where now, okay, we're going to put the onions in here. We're going to put the salt. We're going to chop the onions. Preparation was the beginning. So chopping the onions, chopping tomatoes, that was preparation. That was the last 6 months. We're done with that. Okay. So now we're taking everything we've prepared and we're cooking now. We're putting it together. We're starting to integrate zemile, cookie dough onions. Oh my God. All right. So cookie dough flavored onions, onion flavored cookie dough. Which tastes worse to you? Onion flavored cookie dough might probably be way worse. I'd have some cookie dough flavored onions. All right, brother. Sir Oreo is back in London right now. He went to visit Ralph Smart. I'm just joking, but he's in Manchester. He went to go see his girlfriend. He always gets at me for that. Like, how are you 35 and still single? Okay, you're not married yet either, bruh. I know you've been seeing your girl for 10 years. You about to marry. It is what it is, brother. Ugh. All right. So that being said, right, the reason why you want to get excited, I have to emphasize here, Pisces to Gemini is a belief and ideological, metaphysical facet. It's not physical. This is where you, over the next 30 days, are going to really experience the physical, practical reality of dreams you've had since you were born. For some of you, since the past 6 months. And that's where it's magic, but it's real magic. Real magic is built through consistency. When we think of like magic, we think of Pisces and Sagittarius magic. Sagittarius is chaos magic. Pisces is Disney magic. It's divine dream magic. We think it's the magic spell. I made something come out of the air. What real magic is Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. Wingardium Leviosa. It's spending hours in the forest practicing your magic spells. If you've ever spent hours in the gym working out your muscles, that is real magic. It's the real magic of you tearing your muscles and then rebuilding. We just don't call it magic, but it is. Magic really just initiates change. All right. And the Gemini version of magic is the mindset and attitude to approach a situation properly, but it's Virgo that breaks it into reality, that applies this mindset towards different real life situations so that your behavior, your discipline and habits come through. And as Virgo loves to say, how you do anything is how you do everything. I gotta stop rushing and doing everything so quick then. But that being said, okay, we gonna work on it. Okay. And that's the friction of a quincunx, right? Virgo is 150 degrees to 180 degrees. It is the opening quincunx before we transform and cut the fat with Scorpio after balancing it through Libra. It is integrating your intention with the resistance, the earth resistance through that to break through it or not really stay committed or to stay consistent. And this is where, as much as Virgo gets a bad rap, right? We look at Virgo. I think Pisces is who you think Virgo is, and Virgo is who you think Pisces is. That is not true at all. Like Virgo is Virgo and Pisces is Pisces. But let me tell you what I mean by that. We look at Virgo as the finicky, I have a list person. They do. That, oh, you're not good enough for me. And Pisces is the enabler, which they are, who believes in you no matter what. But you'd be surprised. Pisces' 7th house is Virgo, and Virgo's 7th house is Pisces. So Virgo puts up that front, but all Virgo wants to see is basic consistency. That's it. All Virgo wants to see is that you are at least putting in some work. Virgo is unreasonably kind. They're surprisingly kind. They will put in so much work for you to assist and tutor what you're doing. Pisces believes in you, brings out the greatest, but they actually a lot more picky than Virgo. Pisces already has this fantasy version of in their heads, and if you don't meet that fantasy, I'm sorry, they go and ghost on you, baby. Like a lot of people can't get what Pisces is much of they, unless Pisces wants to enable you and just, you know, Virgo will try and fix you, Pisces will try and save you, but like it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. So that being said, you know, show Virgo your commitment. And because the South Node is in Virgo and we have the Saturn that's going to be opposite this, if you just show even a little bit of commitment and test me on this, challenge me on this. Some of you, I want you to, especially if you struggle with staying consistent, pick the simplest thing ever. Don't try and go all out and try and do everything. Take 1 or 2 simple things. Do it every day for the next 30 days. That's it. Just do it every day for the next 26 days and watch what happens. Aquarius trolls them both and watch what happens. What Virgo season is going to do for you this year is you give a little bit, it's going to do the rest for you. You give your all, you going to change everything for yourself and everyone. Okay, what you put in is what you're going to get out. What you sow is what you will reap. Now, what we sowed the past 6 months were belief systems and thought forms, belief systems and mindsets. We activated belief systems and mindsets. We're going to now form a physical pattern of behavior that integrates these for real. Okay. All the ingredients as a part of this have been prepared. Okay. And like I have been saying, like a broken clock and record, you get to look forward to the real definition of this. Now, this is the beginning of this breakthrough. First of all, breakthrough and harvest is Libra, Scorpio, Sag, 180 to 270 degrees. We call Virgo a harvest season, but that's what the breakthrough arc is. Now, why are we calling Virgo the breakthrough? Because we're breaking through from this Pisces eclipse. So we actually start from Pisces, Aries, Taurus, integrate at Gemini, where we normally do at Cancer and still do. Then Cancer, Leo, boom, 180 degree opposition, Virgo, breakthrough. So we are here now, 6 months later, as you can see. Now we're opposite. And this is where, once again, This is going to shape your behavior. Now, let's talk about the Gemini season in between with Uranus in Gemini. Uranus is pioneering and innovating new levels of thought, unconventional ideas, some of the craziest ideas, some of the most genius revolutionary ideas, and everything in between. There is an unconventional attitude you want to push moving forward. So I love this because in this community, a lot of you read tarot, a lot of you read astrology, and you're in a greater society of mundanes and muggles who don't know their moon sign, don't know their chart ruler, act like all this stuff is pseudoscience, don't really know shit about shit, but have the most to talk about it, conflate you with frauds, right? I want you to comment. I was going to say wiggle, but let's use another word. I want you to comment resistance. If you have felt an increasing resistance to these new innovative ideas that you have been practicing, not just talking about, whether subliminally, psychically, telepathically, really, if you've been experiencing the society or collective around you trying to manipulate you, and because they can't manipulate you or stop you from doing what you're pioneering, they try and now leverage their respect as if you need their stupid ass respect when they don't even see you for who you are, but they're trying to force you to be who they want you to be. And the reason why this is just non-negotiable and a no-no is because if you do this to them, they'll tell you not to tell them what to do. But they feel, and I'm not talking about anyone in particular. It's not someone in my head that this person, this is a collective influence. Everyone is going through this. Everyone has somebody who disagrees with their beliefs. Everyone has someone who agrees with their beliefs. It's mathematics. We all have people who agree with us. We all have people who disagree with us. So relative to the integrity that you're standing on, for those of you who've commented resistance, you have to understand other people folded. There are other people who gave in to this criticism, that gave in to this negativity being projected, okay? And they conformed. They did not have the courage through Leo season, opposite Pluto, to carry forth what they're pioneering. They let the dark forces win, okay? They didn't necessarily allow. The only way you should allow other people to stop what you're doing is if you're on bullshit. And you need other people to show you that. You know what I'm saying? You need that rational, objective perspective from other people to say, hey, you're fucking delusional. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But what happens when this goes through? This is met with actual facts. This is met with a demonstration of how what you're doing is wrong. Instead, for those of you commenting resistance, okay, you're being met with weak little bitches and stupid little bitches who know they can't debunk what you're doing. They can't prove wrong what you're doing. It just goes against their belief. It goes against their sensibilities, right? So instead, they're hitting you with ad hominem fallacies. They're hitting you with straw men, with red herrings. They're diminishing the nature of your success, okay? I want you to comment success if you have noticed more than before others diminishing your success, almost going out of their way to diminish what you're achieving, to almost act as if, you're not even really contributing anything, right? The reason why they're doing this is because they're inherently threatened of you, and people fear what they don't understand. People walk in with religious beliefs, dogmatic beliefs, social expectations that are not really at all grounded in reality. It just makes them feel comfortable to believe. And when you're actively demonstrating what you do that goes against even a little bit what they believe, it threatens their identity because they identify with these beliefs. Okay. Thank you. Like, what did I even do to you? The comment section is filled with miserable people who really don't have any purpose and now need to project their misery onto other people. Thankfully, obviously, not everyone on the internet and the comments is like that, but it's something that every single person is going through. You have the people who are receiving these comments, and you have the people who are commenting these comments. Okay. And why this is very important, why this is a good thing, right? And we're not going to say it's good or bad, but why it's actually good is it's like a video game. As you level up, the resistance gets more intense. You gain more experience points. All right. You level up further. All right. So this is important because now that you've carried this forth, you're going to develop this behavior that begins to change society's behavior towards you and your behavior towards society. And for many of you, society will just reinforce, double down, and continue hating on you. Mind you, what makes this hate is their inability to demonstrate what is wrong with what you're doing. Yeah, they'll bring their beliefs. Yeah, they'll bring a bunch of anecdotal stories about how they don't like it, how it's offensive to them, but they cannot tell you how it's wrong based in reality. Yeah, they'll give you hearsay. Yeah, they'll give you what some bumblefuck studied who doesn't really do what you do or never did what you did, but they're not giving you anything based in reality. They're not demonstrating it. And their inability to demonstrate it has them more frustrated with you as they see you as a threat because they can't, like, for example, Buddha AQ, he reads tarot too. How many people were probably going to say, oh, this tarot shit ain't real. Oh, this is bullshit. But both Forest Fairy Tarot and Buddha can give them a reading and it'll be accurate, whether they accept it or not. They can say things in their reading that will happen. And boom, at that point, are we really factoring in what WLBs are saying? Okay. If we can choose what reality we want to live in, can we choose a reality where we don't experience WLBs, or at least a reality where there are more open-minded, curious individuals? Absolutely. And that is your conscientious effort to align yourself with like minds, even if there's not that much. But the universe will keep a WLB or SLB there to make sure you're still okay with challenge. Right. I like how you said at least more open-minded people. And the most important thing is we're opening up in this new world where you're going to connect with more like-minded people like you without it becoming an echo chamber that just parrots what it is you want to say. This is why I really liked how you said at least where they're more open-minded, because you still want that, you know, juxtaposed balance between people who don't believe in what you believe. Right. But they still challenge your beliefs and respect them, even if they don't believe in it. They don't have to respect the beliefs, but they respect your ability to have your beliefs versus other people who will literally insult you because you believe something different. You don't entertain that. All right. And yeah, I don't really watch GG33, but I could bet how that might be a cult. People like GG33 are really knowledgeable about what they're doing, but express it in a mentalist type of grifter way that, I mean, if you're not really aware of the numerology, he could just really be making shit up and saying shit and and people will just buy it and believe it. Right. I don't want to necessarily call him out. I think he's good at basic numerology. I think I haven't really watched a lot of his videos, but from the few videos I've seen, he looks like someone who gets the basics. He gets the intermediate, but in trying to translate it to a mainstream audience, a lot of it may get diluted and it can, and I'm not singling him out. I'm just using that as an example relative to other people like that who do this, maybe even me in some cases. Psych, I'm on point. But that being said, you know what I'm saying? Like the dilution, I imagine that he's probably very knowledgeable in this craft, but he might have to dilute what he says for it to make sense to a mainstream audience. And that just opens up more fuckery, whether that's his fault or not. And, you know, these type of readings where you're not being told anything new literally is a scam. It's literally a scam. Like some people will probably just take the report from somewhere else and generate it for you. All right. So you said that was a member of his, that wasn't him. Right. But that being said, you know what I mean? there's a place for what he's doing. I'm not going to say it's all bad. At least just getting the awareness out there. It's really cool. But I'm really speaking more as far as the oversaturation of content like that, and how as it becomes more mainstream, it's going to be so much more diluted. And that's not one person's fault at all. I don't want to single out anyone once again. But that being said, right? This nature of now how you're getting ready to interface this forward with other people is going to get ready to change your life forever. And like I said, because Saturn was in Pisces, that activated everything you're meant to believe. The opposition to Saturn ties back in that totality to prepare for you to now reflect this total change in your beliefs into a total change of your life and lifestyle. Basically, the way you live your life. And that's why back in March, I was saying, be as unrealistic as possible. Save the realism for Virgo season. Like back in Pisces season, you know what I'm saying? I believe I'm the sexiest man alive ever to walk the earth. It's not even funny. That was the level of belief and delusion I had to have. Now in Virgo, I can approach it more realistically. Do I have to wait for a zodiac sign season to do it? No. But like in principle, right? Now, if we want to approach it more realistically, yeah, I can still have these beliefs, but I'm still in a real dimension. So I cannot attach expectation if every woman doesn't just drop on the floor like, oh my God, chocolate peace dealer, take me. It's like, instead, it's like, she just don't get it yet. It's cool. It's cool. She don't understand. You see, it's a little bit of balance. All right. That I'm not confident I'm sexy. I'm confident and sexy. Let's go. Okay. Well, I feel that's a bar. I'm not confident I'm sexy regardless. All right. And the reason why that's very significant is I say that a lot. The reason why that's very significant is now that you understand the next 30 days is going to completely change the way you operate it. And the exaggeration of this, shout out to J Kono 808, the exaggeration of this, right? That's going to lead into significantly drastic life changes has a lot to do with Uranus, 1 degree Gemini. So the major facets we want to look at with this Virgo season is Pluto in Aquarius, Saturn and Neptune in Aries, Uranus in Gemini. When we look at personal planets and Jupiter in Cancer, Mercury, Venus, Mars each take about a year to transit. Mars takes 2 years and retrogrades every 2 years with Venus, right? But Mercury, Sun, Venus are going to take about a year to transit, orbit around the sun, but like not entirely, right? But relative to the zodiac, give or take like a year. Mercury within a year goes through every sign. The sun, 365 days. Venus, give or take a year, goes through every sign. And so when we look at these shorter moving hands, so the way to look at the personal planets, the moon and the sun, right, are hands. When I create my luxury watches that tell time in transit, right, the second hand moves very fast. The second hand is going to be the moon. All right. And for those of you, once again, commenting success, and for those of you commenting resistance, the resistance is in the form of people trying to ridicule the established expression of what you're doing. People trying to make fun, people trying to, once again, diminish the success. They're doing it because they're weak, stupid little bitches. And there's really nothing. They're so insecure. They need someone to feel better than. And because what you believe breaks their core beliefs, instead of having the integrity of those beliefs to adjust, they'd rather project on you. Trust, they will get their karma. I think you don't understand that nobody forced them to do this. The decision to doubt you will cost them. Those who doubt the power must suffer, because this was God's promise on your life. It doesn't matter what the fuck they think. This was what was decided by you in the universe. And you are committing to maintain that integrity. So I need you to understand every single influence, for better or for worse, subtle, indirect, direct, that doubted the integrity of what you're doing will pay. One, they're going to pay by seeing you succeed through it. And two, that karma is going to come back through their inability to reinforce actual good behaviors, but to just reinforce bullshit. Karma always comes back in the form of now the consequence of them living false beliefs. All right. So we don't have to play this tit for tat thing. Allow these people to express their insecurity, because now what it's also bringing are amazing people who see you. And that's why it's very important. There's someone who's looking and wishing for someone like you that exists. And for all the insecure, weak fucks that will really go out of their way to hate on you because they literally just cannot stand the brilliance you're on or the innovation you're pioneering, well, there are going to be that much more people who see you, who recognize you, who actually gain much value by you doing what you do. Okay. And this is what now is going to break you through. This is especially important if since 2023, you have been going through a slump. There's the economic blowout of the pandemic, and there's just other personal stuff. So I want you to comment slump if since 2023 or even 2022 or 2023 to now, things have slowed down. Things that used to work for you, right? It's just not really, it's slower. Business is slower. And I don't think that applies to everyone. I think since the past 2 years, some people have gained greater business. Some people have blown the fuck up. So I don't think this is happening to everyone, but I want to really gauge how many of you have experienced a much slowdown, right? The old way of making money doesn't work anymore, right? How many of you have experienced more difficulty, right? You've experienced less ease in the way you do your practices. This is the final test. And this is what I'm saying, practice what you preach. There are a lot of people who preach what they preach only to the point that it gets them paid. Okay. So like they're only doing what they're doing because they get money from it. When this slump hit, they quit because they're not making money from it anymore, right? Because they never really believed in it. They just parroted these beliefs to grift people for money. Okay. The whole purpose, right? The whole purpose of going through this period is Saturn in Pisces testing the belief of what you preach. So it's like, okay, you believe you're the shit, right? You believe you're worth all of this. Do you still believe this? Oh, the testing don't stop, my friend. The testing never stops. We just move on to different phases. You just gotta get stronger with the test. But like, do you still believe what you believe when nothing seems to be working out for you? This is precisely Saturn Pisces test, especially for you Pisces suns, Virgo rising suns, Gemini, Sagittarius, don't matter what your sign, but let me make things harder for you. Let me remove all that fluid flow you had before. Let me cut off all that support. Okay. Right? Like, for example, I used to get thousands of views on my videos. Even before, I'm not even going to blame the algorithm. Like, even before there were algorithmic suspicions, but skits would get like tens of thousands of views. I used to get a good number of thousands of views. My videos don't even break past 500 or 1,000 right now, or 1,000 or 2,000. All right. And I'm not looking at that saying, oh shit, I'm barely making any money anymore doing this, or damn, nobody's watching my shit. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm going to keep on pumping out quality material. If you take down YouTube, I'm going to find another platform. I'm going to put it out because you guys have established, just like other people I've met, there's value in what I do. And I'm pretty fucking good at it too. So as long as that need is there, I'm going to put that out. It's truly not about the money for me. I'm going to make money. I'm going to still run this like a business, but it's not about the money. It's nothing for me to do a reading for free. It's nothing for me to trade services or do whatever. I'm doing this for the craft, for the path. I know the money will come. I know the accomplishments will come. I am sticking with integrity to what I believe. And for every single one of you that commented slump, for those of you who stayed true, all right, and maintain this integrity, this Virgo season is going to be the beginning of seeing everything turn around now. and all that work you've done to really hone your craft and to still keep things pushing, even when things are slow, you're going to begin to break through. Bruh, on God. Like, I'm actually losing followers. It's actually fucking crazy. And some people are saying that like they didn't unsubscribe to me, but they saw they were unsubscribed. I'm not going to put out any theories out there. Instead, I'm going to just keep on putting out some crack. Okay, so what did you see me do? Instead of trying to complain about the algorithm, and instead of trying to say, oh, I'm being shadow banned, which I am, or oh, they're holding me back. Cool, shadow ban me. I don't care. I'm going to hit you back with consistency. I haven't been uploading videos. I've just been going live. Boom, we got a video coming out every fucking day for the next 6 months, bro. So, you know, we're going to see how that works. If I don't get any extra views, I still got you guys. You know what I mean? Like, I still have the few of you who actually tune in, and it's a quality over quantity thing. The amount is not necessarily going to whatever. Now, some people, that's really all they have. They feel like that is some kind of indicator to feel like they're better than other people or whatnot, or feel like they work hard on other people. That's their insecurity talking. Once again, some people insecurity need someone to feel better than. Someone who is strong honors where someone is at, and they build people up to their level. Someone who is insecure breaks other people down to feel higher. It's black. That is black and white. There's no nuance to that. All right. You're either a WLB or you're actually strong. Real, recognized, real. Right. So with that in mind, okay, can we pay for a one card? Christopher, great question. For those of you who would like a reading, I forgot to turn on the Hipsy. I am offering at current natal chart readings. Okay. Oh, thank God. I am offering at current natal chart readings. I will add the tarot draw now. So if you go to my Hipsy down below, you will see the link. And if you click the description box down below, you will also see how to join the queue. So for those of you who want a live reading, okay, you're welcome to join the line. If you want me to read your chart, send me your chart and I will break down this Virgo season for you. If you do want me to pull a card, I don't normally do these during transit reports, but Chris, I got you, bro. If you want that, click the link for Hipsy that I should have down below, and we can get it popping, bro. We can get it popping. So that being said, once again, as we kind of begin to break through and form these habits, you're going to experience the real change. Now, let's put the timeline out for this, because in 6 months from now, we're going to have the final eclipse in Pisces at 2026. Saturn will be fully in Aries. And once Saturn finishes phasing out Pisces and we're moving into Aries, it doesn't stop getting challenging, but you're going to experience this real breakthrough from now over the next 6 months. Things may be less difficult. Avenues, and they still may be challenged, there still may be difficulty, but avenues will open up for you to participate and break through. And once again, for some of you, this may have been experienced through crippling depression. This may have been experienced through going through some of the darkest nights of your life. Okay. It's not about how entirely graceful you get through this. I feel like, especially if you have Pisces rising, Pisces sun, Virgo, right? If Saturn is right on your shit, some of you are being way too harsh on yourself. Some of you are expecting way too much from yourself because you keep comparing your success with other people's success. You keep listening to other people's opinions on who they think you should be when you exist at a level that they could only dream of. This is a part of the test. How can you maintain this belief in yourself through literally the most difficult times? Okay. So why this is, once again, very significant is, of course, it's annoying because people who keep it authentic and know what the fuck they're talking about, not getting pushed like they should, but WLBs are getting pushed all day because there's a lot of weak ass little bitches. who they can't really they can't really understand. And the quality gets greater, the quantity gets lower. All right, especially when it's condensed. And it's not some bullshit like you're not posting hard enough. Oh, you're just not. No. It's just the nature of the game. This has happened for years. You know what I'm saying? It's always the most commercial pop music or whatever that goes, and the more deeper stuff maybe just doesn't appeal to a wider audience. But we do quality over quantity here. All right, we do quality and quantity, but we prioritize quality first. So you know what I'm saying? For those of you who have this pressure, stop being hard on yourself. It is okay if you're frustrated. It is okay if you're worried. Some of you have been racked with guilt because you're worried about what's going to happen next. You have every right to be worried, especially as you're adapting to what to do next, but never give up. The fact that you haven't given up is evidence of your victory. And it's nothing you have to wait for. This is where, once again, the law of assumption and just staying in that end state. For those of you who say, I have it now, and then you're wondering, when is it going to come? You're not affirming you have it now. And I want to really address this because adopting this mindset through Virgo season is going to hyper accelerate your progress. Okay. Because now we're developing our behavioral patterns. So in applying the law of a delusion or the law of assumption, right? It's now. I want you over the next 28 days to literally walk as if everything you've ever wanted is true. Spend your day thinking as it, imagining it. Now, here's the thing about this. When you say you have it now, you have it now. Okay? When you say you have it now, you have it now. Okay? Let me say this again. When you say you have it now, you have it now. The reason why this throws off a lot of people is because you're relying way too much on external environments to tell you what the reality is, when in reality, you perceive less than 1% of the electromagnetic spectrum. By the time you are processing what you're really experiencing, your brain has to make up shit to make up for everything else you can't. And then the next second has already happened. So it is illogical to base what's really happening just off of what you see. And activating that reticular activation system and impressing your subconscious mind allows this to reflect through you. This is why I'll say, even if you're delusional, because you already do this, you're already thinking and reinforcing habits and expressing that. And it's good to challenge yourself the other way. So when you say you have it now, you have it now. The reason why I'm saying this is every time you waver, you are literally just putting an anchor on the ship, and you're wondering why the ship isn't moving forward. And it's like, oh, we've taken the anchor off, but you keep the anchor down there. Okay. So when you say you have it, even if you feel like you're being delusional or you have to pretend, have it. But you see, some of you don't feel like you deserve you to have it. Some of you get too caught up on what other people would think if they see you owning what's already yours. And this is where I don't want to just talk this shit. I'm going to once again show you very significant receipts to give you an idea of how this works. There's a bridge of incidents, okay? And not only a bridge of incidents, not only a bridge of incidents, but there's a way things kind of play out that you're not always going to be aware of as they're happening. There we go. There we go. So here's the thing, guys. Let me give you an example of what it means when I say, when you have it now, you have it now. I'm going to share an example of 3 different instances and cases where, okay. Really? I thought it was more than that. Oh, wow. All right. It is what it is. I think it was 2024. Was it this year? I guess it was this year. All right. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it was 2023. Damn. All right. Well, basically, when I say that I have it now, I know that even if I don't experience it, or even if I'm not aware, the process is still happening. I have it now. I'm not waiting for it. I have it now, whether I see it or not. Okay. So let me give you 2 instances. All right. And I showed you guys these receipts before. I don't know exactly the previous video where it was happening real time. So I showed you it as it happened real time. But basically, okay, on 2 separate occasions, I said, money flows to me naturally and easily. I didn't have to repeat that, right? I didn't spend time thinking about it. I just said that. I was like, that's just what it is. All right. And I went back around my day. The very next day, I get an email from Guideline. Now, before I used Gusto, I used a payroll software that enabled me to pay myself, right, as my own employee. And an option that they had was to do a 401k package. So I was my own employer, and as an employee, getting those payments, a portion of those payments will go into that 401k package. I had to pay something monthly to have that service, right? And then, of course, when I finished out with that, I took all the money out, at least I thought I did. So I said, okay, and you can repeat it because robotic affirmations work. Repeating it implies that you feel like you don't have it. You can say it and let it be. You can repeat it over and over. Robotically, you don't even have to believe it. From experience, however, everything that I've manifested, I just said it once and I forgot I said it. Okay, I wrote it down once. I just said it once. I forgot I said it. Boom. All right. Now, but I know for some people, repeating stuff works for them as well. I use robotic affirmations for self-concept, and they really help reinforce who I feel within. But actual manifesting stuff, like boom. So money flows to me naturally and easily. All right. Mind you, I did this program back in like 2021, 2020, 2021, right? 2 years later, okay, money flows to me naturally and easily. The very next day, I receive an email from Guideline telling me, hey, bruh, you have $700 you have not claimed, and we're about to release it. Do you want to claim this or not? I forgot that I even did that. This was years ago. But the day I said money flows to me naturally and easily, I get this email. And as you can see, it says, I am reaching out as your employer. Mystical Illuminations Incorporated has terminated their plan as of April 2021. However, our team is unable to complete the plan termination as there is a return distribution check for $750. I was mind blown because I had only said this less than 24 hours ago. Okay. So when I said money flows to me naturally and easily, before I even knew where it would come from, I already had it. And not only did I already have it, I had it since 2 years ago. All right. So now I would be delusional as fuck. Society would tell you you're delusional by saying, oh, just get a job. Right. Which is nothing wrong with working a job. But it's like, oh, that's delusional. It doesn't work like that. When in reality, I would be delusional if I said, I don't have money like that. Money doesn't just flow to me that easily. And yet, here is living proof that it actually fucking does. Should I lay off the F-bombs? I'm feeling very passionate. I like saying the F word, but it is what it is. As you can see, you don't have to believe me. Like, if you believe I'm making this up, I would almost respect that, because at least you're telling me that what I experienced is that impossible, that you think I'm lying. But this literally happened the very next day. And it's not even the first time something like this has happened to me or you the very next day. And the reason why that's very significant, do you think I knew this was going to come from Guideline? Do you think I knew that this was going to come from something I did 2 years prior? Bro, I was talking to one of my friends about someone signing up for my metalsmithing class and having one spot left. Someone messaged me in that moment, and like that, my classes are now full. Especially for some of you who manifesting was smooth. You've already proved to yourself you can manifest, but now it's just like, what's happening? Your beliefs are being tested. Your beliefs are being tested. Remember, this was 2023, right before Saturn went into Capricorn, March 29th, 2023, into Pisces, to start testing our beliefs. That being said, let's say this affirmation real quick. We're set for life. For any one of you guys watching this, right? You get $1 million. You get $1 million. How is the universe business? For any one of you watching this, claim it with me now. I am set for life. We are set for life. Okay. The work we do as a labor of love, not because we depend on that level of the economy to make a living. We got it from within us. There's nothing wrong with doing that, by the way. But the richest people in the world don't even work. They manage their assets and portfolio. We set for life, baby. All right. And just like I'm showing you, I literally just said money flows to me naturally and easily. Boop. The universe was like, oh, hell yeah, it does, Peace Dealer. Now, can you claim this money, or are we going to have to take it out? So I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, let me take that. I didn't even know I had that. I didn't have to know, because we create our own reality. We create our own reality. We're set for life. Nobody can tell you you're not. Okay, let me give you another exhibit, because your boy did it again. Your boy saw the results from the first time and was like, God damn. Well, you know what they say. Money flows to me naturally and easily. The universe was like, you really want to try this, Peace Dealer? And I didn't do it day after day. So that happened. And then give or take the next week or another week, I said, or maybe a couple days later, let me see. This isn't. Okay, yeah, maybe sometime later. Money flows to me naturally and easily. The very next day. This seems to be in October. Okay, no, this was later after I paid it out. So this was before October. The very next. So I'm going to show you the payout, but the very next day, TuneCore, right? So I use Amuse to upload music. Before I used Amuse, I used TuneCore. And the music that I uploaded there, turns out that I had unclaimed royalties. Bruh, bruh, who listens to my music? First of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even buzzing like that. Like, I don't even have people, I don't even have like up to 500 monthly listeners on a Spotify account. So the last thing that I am thinking is that I'm going to get money for old music that I put out. I said money flows to me naturally and easily, son, because why wouldn't it? The very next day, TuneCore is showing me, hey, bruh, you have unclaimed money from music. How? Why didn't I see this notification before until now? I have not used my TuneCore account in years. Bloop, $447. I couldn't even believe it. I'm like, this is the type of money I can make from music that barely anyone listens to, bro. Like, it blew my fucking mind. But that reinforced something. Your word is your magic wand. And you wavering back and forth, not believing yourself, the universe is a gentleman. It'd be like, hey, you figure it out. You let us know if you believe what you're talking about, because you don't have to believe your assumptions. You just have to think as it. Just keep saying it. You let us know what you want. And then, because I want this. Okay, I don't. Okay, I want this. Okay, I don't believe I can. Okay, which is it? If you, that's giving an inconsistent frequency, right? You say it, you move forward like it's gospel. And every time you think about it, you reinforce that thought, whether you do it all day or you do it periodically whenever the thought comes up. Those two instances reinforced without a shadow of a doubt to me that I didn't need to know how. I didn't need to know why. I didn't even need to know where it was coming from. I just decided, and that was it. And even when I decided it, I wasn't expecting anything, albeit you can, but I wasn't expecting this has to happen now. It could, I didn't want it to happen now, but like, there you go. All right. So when you say you have it now, you have it now. You don't need to know where it's coming from. You're not waiting for it to happen. You don't have it now, but then you're looking around like, but why don't I, where is it? No, you have it now. You have it now. I still struggle with this concept. So in case you think it's like, oh, this is super easy, you should just get it. No, it's reasonable after years, decades of conditioning yourself to think a certain way, to struggle to replace these neural pathways with a new way of thinking and a behavior to integrate this new way of thinking. Okay. But the little you do goes a long way. And there's so much that grows in the soil that you don't see is growing till it sticks out the ground. All right. We haven't even started this monthly peace report yet. I've really just been cooking. Thank you. You guys so much for patience. Program your mind into a consciousness that commands its reality and is not necessarily too caught up in trying to make sense of everything, because you're co-creating with the universe and the collective conscious and unconscious. Most everything you pray for, God will send another person to fulfill that prayer and you to fulfill others. All right. Because we all we need. So I hope me showing you this reminds you, one, shout out to Healed by Sage. I'm not the only one who goes through this. Every single one of you watching me can show me at least 3 receipts of something like this that's happened. I know it. I know. I have full faith and confidence in the fact that every single one of you have experienced even more profound elements of this. And I've heard some of your stories as well. Buddha IQ has definitely shared extraordinary stories, who at the Aquarius level is going through a high level of manifestation. All right. So with that being said, shout out to you, AJ. Shout out to you, Twin Star Seed. This is very beautiful because, of course, see, I needed 3K of dental work and 1 on IG. All right. You direct this. And now that I've established that the universe responded to me next day, When I say what it is I want, I'm not tripping if there's seemingly a time delay, because we're co-creating with a higher self and universe that will always make sure it's placed at the right time. It doesn't matter to me when it actually comes in, because I said that's what it is. And now I'm going to work around that. I'm not going to just spend all my money and be like, I have millions of dollars in the bank and then go negative. I'm still going to, or I can, but I'm still going to work within reason, right? Still keeping in my mind and thinking as if I'm fucking set for life. And that's where you emitting this frequency creates cognitive dissonance with others who are used to the frequency you had before, with which they could have leveraged against you. And thank you, Lace South. You guys who listen to my music are the fucking best. All right. And you know, this is unconscious, by the way. So unless they're super evil, which some people are, I don't want to think most people are, on an unconscious level, people are going to seek to return to status quo. All right. And challenge these ideas. Oh, what? You think you could just make anything happen from thin air? Yes, bitch. I'm a magician. So there you go. Like, it is what it is. Whatever you have to do to reinforce that, do not allow yourself to fold as you are breaking through these new behavioral patterns and mindsets. Okay. Ooh, let's go. Thank you. Yes. The Galactic Heritage deck was the first deck that, if you guys know, I featured Starry Ari on this chat. The first time I ever met Starry Ari, she read the Galactic Heritage deck to me and gave me one of the most profound readings, just pulling cards. I was like, how do you know this much from just pulling the right card? And she could have been wrong. She got it spot on. Shout out to Ari. So I'm very honored to have this deck. But that being said, right? For example, what I mean by that is she pinpointed star systems I'm directly connected to out of maybe a myriad of 18. So for her to pull out like around a lot. So she's pulling cards, different star systems. She could have pulled any card and it wouldn't really have been right. Every single card she pulled specifically aligned with a star system that couldn't have been anyone else. And she just did it straight intuitively. Oh, she's a Toltec shaman. She initiated me into Toltec shamanism. She's the real deal. She's the real deal. And she has a legit job too. Working and counseling and therapy with abused people, amongst other certain people. I think it's not entirely medicine, but around that field. But what's very significant, once again, is it's fucking magic. What's very significant is I want you to now imagine what lifestyle you would live if you were set to life for life, and if you knew your word was your magic wand. Right now that I might be experiencing delays or whatnot, it doesn't faze me because I'm set for life. I have already decided what it is, and I'm moving forward as that. I'm still in this world, but I'm not of this world. So I don't let the false narratives and beliefs of this world by people who hallucinate their reality dictate what I know I am, what I know has been revealed to me. And that's where receipts are important. I just showed you receipts. So I'm not just preaching this message to you, and I don't have any demonstration of how it's happened. I'm showing you real experiences, right? And I still have much to learn. I'm still growing through this. And that's what makes this a process. So we're going to beef up this process. Okay. So as we wrap around this, one thing I want to direct you guys. And by the way, Sharon, I got your Venmo. AJ, I got your Cash App. So I'm going to give you guys these readings at the end for those of you who have requested them. You heard. Thank you for sending your chart. Whew. And for those of you who just joined, if you want to join the queue and if you want a reading, please feel free. So now that we've kind of set this up, like this is how important this is. This is how passionate and serious I am about this. Because I could have just ran through and said, okay, the moon's going to be in Libra, then the moon's going to be in Scorpio. You know what I'm saying? Then we're going to have the full moon. But I wanted you to have a very extensive understanding of what even led up to this moment. We really do this astrology shit. What really led up to this moment here? What really led to you, all right, now forming these habits? Why is it significant that this is a breakthrough of initial beliefs that we will now harvest this lifestyle? PD meetup coming soon, an event being worked on for 2027 as well. All right, I want to give myself 2 years to prepare, so nothing's like shabbily put together, and to raise the budget for it. So, of course, 3 months from now, by the end of the year, everything that's breaking through, you will see it visibly in Sagittarius. All right, by Sagittarius season, everything you are believing, you will see its completion. That means this Virgo season, we will begin to break through. You will begin to start to see a real change aligned with what you believe you can achieve and can experience. Then we're going to push it forward in Libra. Then we're going to transform it in Scorpio. And then we're going to see the completion of it. And we're going to see what we've accomplished. Then we're going to do it again next year. And then again next year. But with different, of course, qualities and elements of this. Okay. And you guys, by the time we all meet, of course, at this meetup, we're all set for life. We've already manifested more of whatever. This is all a process for us to practice what we preach and make our way to each other. And I will hold my own part of the bargain by setting this up. I'm not going to rush it because I do want to take my time, like getting this right. But that being said, that doesn't mean I won't do something anytime soon as well. But I am giving myself that 2-year deadline. That being said, okay. Now let's actually go into Virgo season. Now that we know that this is going to realistically break through over the next 3 months, how are we breaking through these beliefs? So we're going to look at Pluto. We're going to look at Saturn, Neptune. We're going to look at Uranus. The aspects Virgo will be making to Pluto is a Scorpio signature. All right. Relative to the month prior where we began to break through. And by the way, shout out to Leah. I just did my first supernatural breakthrough report. And I was able to do that with her. And she also got the soulmate tarot report reading. Everything is half off. So that was very fun. And I was able to break down to her the next 3 months from Leo season. So this is where after we activated this, every January coming into February, we will repeatedly activate these new cycles. What is this like? This is like you activating different scripts in your life. Okay. Okay. You guys can hear me. And I wanted to highlight, of course, this North Nodal activation coming into 7 and 8 years, right? And put you in a position to see that every year for the next 20 years, as Pluto is in Aquarius, you're going to be reactivating more awakening of your higher mind and the knowledge you will integrate coming into the rest of the year. This is like you re-ing up. You're re-ing up on the product. And then by Leo season, you get it ready for these streets. Who do I think I am? My bad. Aquarius season is going to be where you write your book. You write your book every year. You write a new chapter every year. You memorize it by heart so that by Leo season, you're performing it by heart on stage. Okay. And the first time we did this was this year. And the opposition of this is the first breakthrough for the next 20 years, the next 19, 20 years. Okay. So it happens in 3 stages, the harvest: Leo season, Virgo season, Libra season, we complete Scorpio season. It's the first time. It's the first one that's going to get you in there and be like, I am supernatural. And I made the app Supernatural. Join the app. And why, once again, that's significant is now the Virgo season signature of this is a Scorpio signature. So we went through the Libra signature. Venus, as of current, is now making it through the opposition, trining Neptune and Saturn, reinforcing this boldness of our hearts that we already were made aware of. And now Venus is polishing it. So we just had a party in Leo season. Venus is now polishing it, cleaning up the room, making sure we can beautify what we have established and activated relative to our new talents that we've broken through. That means the last month you have broken through talents and established talents on a supernatural level. It's important for me to say this is not supported by science. Science would look at this as science, pseudo-scientific, fantasy, sci-fi-esque bullshit. But science also says telepathy is bullshit, dream recall is bullshit, psychic abilities are bullshit, and we know that that's bullshit. We know that psychic abilities are actually real. We know that a lot of people fake having psychic abilities, but mediumship is a really real skill. Okay, ask real mediums. Ask people who've spoken to real mediums. So that being said, you have started the 20-year process collectively with the rest of the world of breaking through and establishing talents on a supernatural level. Now, Venus is going to take these talents and smoothen them and polish them, okay, and put them in a position to now express it smoother while Virgo is mastering the transformation of this perspective. So are they lying? I would say in the major part, this isn't necessarily malice. It's just ignorance. It's a stubbornness to move beyond materialist reductionist philosophy, which is a response to the Dark Ages, where the world was just blinded by false religion and all sorts of anti-science ideology. So now we went too empirical, and that has now not allowed us to explore more of these things. I mean, it is being explored. There are cases of it, as we can see with the CIA, because they know what's up, and other such government intelligence agencies. However, you know, there's stuff they might be there. They could also be lying to protect public interest and not let people know whether to rob people of power or to not create whatever urgency. I would say really more, it's just a difference in ideals, and people who are being stubborn to open up to insight that is not entirely provable or researchable until now. And that's what makes this period, the technology we're innovating is so advanced. It's going to be able to explain with this new way of thinking these abilities. The thing about these abilities is that they're shrouded in mystery, but there is a science to everything. So once we demystify it, that's what's going to enable us to make sense of how we can transfer telepathic thoughts. If we're able to measure that our brains emit frequencies through our thoughts that people can tune in, who knows? Case studies, experiments will kind of break this through. The telepathy tapes is already a good venture and step forward into that direction. All right. And not the first of its kind as well. That being said, all right, the quincunx that Virgo is making to Pluto and Aquarius is transforming knowledge with updated data. So like I said before, you know, certain people used to believe that if you're sick, you just need a bloodlet. You need to let the blood leave, right? And then of course, through actual analysis and you know, facts, they realize that that's bullshit. And that doesn't do that. So the facts transform the knowledge of the age. And that's what we're experiencing every Virgo season over the next 20 years at an extreme level. Because it's something that happens all the time. Like information is constantly updating on itself. Research studies, I think theories of relativity that Einstein had were proven wrong. And in Einstein's time, it was, I'm not going to say relativity was proven wrong. So let me kind of rephrase that. But certain theories Einstein had reasonably were proven wrong. And that's cool. Right? At its time, it was groundbreaking, but it set the framework for people to test the theory and prove it right or wrong. Natural scientific reasoning loop, scientific method, classic. That's perfect. It's nothing wrong with being wrong. It's everything wrong with just being in denial and holding on to wrong beliefs and ideas because it makes you feel comfortable or because you don't want to accept the truth. All right. And, you know, the idea of science being resistant to stuff is a normal thing. And it's not a bad thing. Psychology was never excited. And it still is skeptical today. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just gives you an idea of how these things over time gain more credence as more people look into and research them. So as far as, of course, Virgo season, now that you've established and begun to break through these talents, now that it's going through Virgo, okay, this is going to transform this awakened knowledge of yourself and the collective around you. And the way to look at this quincunx every Virgo season is from the activation in Aquarius, we are activating celestial energy. This is out of this world. You cannot see a radio wave. You cannot see a microwave. You cannot see an electromagnetic wave. I mean, we do see a range of it, but there's so much more we don't see. So this is knowledgeable, higher-minded concepts, supernatural energy that up until Virgo season, we don't really get a real basis for until we initially step through Taurus and integrate it. That's where we start to ground it through our five senses. And with Uranus and Taurus, we're innovating how much quicker we process information, how much smoother and unconventional our senses are. And it's in Virgo that this now gives you the real experience of this higher knowledgeable concept. Okay. It's what now breaks through you actually being able to analyze and now affect actual causality by logging in. This is what we believe. This is what happened. This is the progress we're seeing over the next 20 years that through this can bring, once again, more real credence. Not everything needs real credence though, but like, at a practical level, Virgo season is going to, and I mean that in a sense where not everything is explainable. I mean, there's so much of the universe we'll never be able to perceive and explain, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't explore it. So that being said, we have the quincunx to Pluto. We now have the opening quincunx to Saturn and Neptune. All right, the exact 150-degree quincunx. So this is making that yod. We are transforming this awakening of knowledge and our supernatural potential by transforming how we express this in our behavior. And then we are integrating this total integrity of who we are. Saturn and Neptune is the reimagination of this integrity of character and how much the belief systems you've had since 2023 you can actually apply by standing on it. Right. So, for example, relative to where I'm at, you know, I believe in what it is I practice. Right. And how do I demonstrate that through Aries? I can show up on any podcast. I can show up anywhere. All right. And just give anyone a chart reading and demonstrate that and stand on that and actually show that I'm actually good at this. I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that doesn't mean that I'm the most knowledgeable. That doesn't mean that I'm the best, but I can open up discussion on this. I can challenge skeptics. I'm not like, you can put me on Jubilee, one astrologer versus 30 skeptics. I will smoke all of them. I will smoke every single one of those skeptics. And by the time we're done, they don't know their moon sign. Even if they walk away still doubting, they gonna come back like, damn, he was right. I've had that before. I've had people I give readings to and they think it's bullshit. And then they call me like a month later or 2 months later, like, bro, you're Jesus. Like, how, dude, I thought this was bullshit at first. Like, this is fucking accurate. Because it takes people some time. And that's okay. And that's okay. All right. So that being said, and I appreciate the people who are able to actually open up and be honest about the fact that they were skeptical at first, but had the willingness to change their mind. I respect that so fucking much because it lets you know, and that happens. There's so much stuff I was skeptical about, and then I eventually believe it. So like, or really seen it. So that being said, it's just integrity. You just do the work, do what you got to do, move forward. And now we know that the Virgo is Scorpio signaturing Pluto, and it's Virgo signaturing Aries. It's integrating, it's transforming Pluto. It's integrating Aries so that this integrity that we have, what lifestyle would that person live? Now that for the next 2.5 years, you're carving through for Ye, he's in his villain era, right? He's the villain, right? What lifestyle, how is his behavior going to integrate with that level of integrity to stand on what he won't let other people make him say or not say, right? That's just one example. Everyone is going through this. And as Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces, you're going to be retested on, hey, remember those beliefs you had in March? Do they still translate? No. Remember, you believed this back in March. What's it looking like? This is the great reality test. And why I want you to really commit over the next 28 days and 30 days so that you can actually, shout out to Crystalline Prisons, so that you can actually experience the reality of this and not just get stuck dreaming, oh, I wish I can make this. We're not wishing. We commanding. We command the universe. The universe co-creates with us. The universe is literally waiting for every command. And for you to really stand and move like you already said the word and you're meeting it. Not even halfway, full way, halfway. It is what it is. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Honestly, that is still one of my favorite readings I've ever done because it was just so magic to see the connections in the family synastry. And it's just very profound. I truly appreciate you trusting me to read all that. I still enjoy that to this day. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like in tying all of this together, this puts you in a position to not only maintain that integrity and authority, but to now develop behavioral patterns through that. So that's the resistance of Saturn and Aries bringing a total integration. So it's not 99 or halfway, it's 100%, which adds in its difficulty, but creates more reward through pushing through that difficulty. And then the next thing we want to look at is, of course, Uranus square the sun. This is new. We did not have this last year. Let me actually prove it to you. Last year, we were still trining. Uh-oh. Here we go. It looks like, okay. Look at that. Look at what doesn't want to work right now. All right, guys. It looks like that's not working, but as you can see, that's not going to stop us. We have the sun square Uranus. All right. We have the sun square Uranus, and that is very significant. Last year, Uranus was still in Taurus. So this is the first Virgo season in 85 years since we've had Uranus square it in Gemini. And so now this integrates the nature of your behavior with, oh, I'm glad you called out. That's probably Uranus that rules technology. That's crazy. It's trolling. This definition of these behavioral patterns are being challenged with how unconventional you can maintain your thinking. Because as Uranus throughout the rest of the decade goes through, we're innovating the way we think. We see this with GPT-5 and Grok 4. It's create new levels, new devils. Now the new devils are, oh, people rely too much on AI. That's the natural process where we introduce something new. We see what the potential problems are. We somehow meet our way. This happened with every piece of technology. We did this with smartphones. We did this with iPads. We did this with virtual reality. We're doing this with AI. And I'm not going to say there isn't truth to any of these criticisms. But as we are innovating our mindset, how do we now incorporate this innovation of mindset into the definition of our behavioral patterns that will now borrow from this innovation? And that's what's going to now cause unexpected development. Okay, this is why I'm saying that if you commit every day to this, you are going to see things shift very quickly, unexpectedly, because you were never not doing anything. You weren't just doing nothing this entire time. You were preparing the meal. Now, if you didn't sow anything over the past 6 months and you kept on reinforcing negative attitudes and you kept on really trying to tell yourself it's not going to work out for you, that's what you're going to reap. But you still have the time to change your behavior so that you can pick up where you left off. For those of you who've put in that work for the past 6 months, get ready. That's why I'm saying get excited, because this is going to be more than lit. You're going to see at a very rapid pace things switch fast. Uranus didn't even enter Gemini until Gemini season. All right, coming into Cancer season. So we're really freshly coming into what to perceive about this and how to perceive. All right. So now that we've talked about the 3 pillars we're going to be looking at, Pluto, Saturn, and Uranus, we know that we're transforming the supernatural to bring more real basis so that we can actually analyze what it is outside of just thinking and believing about it. And we're going to build on this for the next 19 years. We're integrating for the next 2.5 years Saturn in Aries, and for the next 13 years Neptune in Aries, to reimagine our characters and how we can be the fantasy, right? We believed in the fantasy in Pisces. Now we're embodying the fantasy, our highest realization that we're not separate to the divine in who we are. All right. This is that God awakening within you, the God goddess world within you awakening, the universal awakening, bringing in a whole new trend of faith systems and beliefs. Right. And then we have the square to Uranus until 2033 that is going to constantly innovate our mindset and then activate our mindset, integrate in our habits, harvest it through our vision, complete it through our beliefs, do it all over again for the next like 6 years. Okay. And now, before we go into this, I do want to inform you all you lovely people, once again, that I do have my half off sale. Okay, so for those of you who would like a reading, a consultation, if you want me to go deeper into what the next few months will be like for you, and Christopher, I got you. I got your Cash App. If you want to know what the everything we're going through is going to be, if you want a synastry report, if you want a consultation, a recorded report, or meet live with me during a consultation, it's all 50% off, baby. And I do have my featured products, a Supernatural Breakthrough Report, which will be $15 with the sale, and then $10, half off of 20 with this sale, right? It automatically applies. Join us now, baby. Okay, so I do want to get that out the way. Now let's actually move forward. I also please subscribe to my app, Supernatural. The link in the description box below, supernatural.passion.io. You can make a free account, or you can join any of the tiers. It's all good. Oh, also, by the way, as of now, I have uploaded all of the planet videos from Mercury to Saturn. I have Mercury through all the houses. I have Saturn through all the houses. Okay. You know, let me just show, not tell. Let me show you what I'm working with. Oh, shit. My computer's frozen right now. All right, we back. So as you can see, what the fuck? Oh, shit. Damn, that was stupid. My computer glitching, guys. This is weird. It's totally not all the tabs that I have. It can't be that. It can't be. That's irrational. All right, check this out, guys. So as of now, first of all, I have these glorious ass courses. Look at this. This has like 80 different tabs. Boom, 33, 33, 80. We go in over here. Midheaven Podcast, which is free. By the way, you're able to access everything that has the unlock button. You're able to access for free. You don't need to be a paying member. Okay, yo, for real, this shit is crazy. So as you can see, if you go down here, I got all the Mercury videos. I got all the Venus videos. I got all the Saturn videos. I got all the Jupiter videos. I got all the Venus videos. Okay. I got them all. 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 Hey, I got them all. Oh, no. Okay. Looks like we don't have the transit thing anymore. That's being stupid. That being said, guys, I'm just going to freestyle this. No problem. Oh, okay, cool. We back. So, and I'm wearing yellow, right? So, we have this, right? For those of you who are members, you can access all of these videos now. Now, I was going to cancel the YouTube membership. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep both memberships for now. Once we get enough people on the app, I will change a bit of the YouTube membership. But of course, for now, for those of you who are still YouTube members, first of all, if you're not a YouTube member, I have all of these videos scheduled out until January. Like Mercury in Capricorn isn't going to come out until like October. So you will have to wait until October to access the video. And it's cool because every week we're going to drop, every Wednesday, a new Mercury video is dropping. Every Thursday, a new Jupiter video is dropping. So for those of you who don't want to wait, it is right now exclusive for God Squad and Infinity Club members. And then the extended Magic Moon messages will be available for Eternal Vibe Tribe members. All of these are available on the app, especially if you're subscribed. Okay. So for those of you who want to watch all these videos, the astrological profile videos, the World War Zero season 2. I put the first 2 episodes out so far. I hope you guys are enjoying the new World War Zero series, by the way. How do you guys like that? And for those of you who want to watch all the Jupiter videos, if you are a YouTube member, you can access them right now. If you're a God Squad or of course Infinity Club. And then if you're on the app, boom. All right. So wanted to get that out the way. Now, that being said, let's get back into it. You heard? So, I wish I was from New York so bad. All right. That being said, the moon is now in Libra. And we are in the midst of manifesting the potency of these new behaviors. So, of course, the first part of this, the first week of this is going to be moon in Virgo to moon in Sagittarius. Let's see if you are working now. Yeah, okay, we good. We back. Thank God. Whew. All right. So from now until August 31st, from now until the end of the month, we are activating these new habits and routines. This is what's going to activate the establishment of these new patterns. Okay. This is going to be you doing what you can to get on that bicycle and to keep it straight. When you get on a bicycle, you have to balance it. Then after the square, we can reach a top velocity. We can start moving forward. That's after next week. So this first activation part, you work really hard. The next week, you work even harder. And then the full moon breakthrough is the last stretch. You go even harder, then we can chill on the completion. Some people even go harder on the completion. It's really up to you. This is just my perspective. Some people like to go hard on the activation, chill on the integration, go hard on the breakthrough, or just go hard on the activation. It's really whatever. So we're going to break down this first week. The first week we had the new moon in Virgo, which activated this change of behavior, which implemented sowing the seeds to sow in these habits. And as of now, with the moon in Libra, after we have activated this new magic, now we are activating the manifestation of balanced power and potency cardinally, socially through Libra to manifest this magic. manifest because the moon in Libra is making a 30 to 60 degree angle to the sun in Virgo. This is now the Taurus signature of manifestation. And so we are taking this perspective of how we want to approach it, and we're taking our first step, and we're coming into a social balance of understanding how this interfaces with other people, even yourself as an other, and what kind of logical understanding and balanced understanding. I appreciate you, Poet Lounge. For all of you guys who do plan to subscribe, there is no rush. Even your intention to means the world to me. So I do appreciate you. And of course, break this in. Then we're going to have the moon in Scorpio. The moon in Scorpio is going to strengthen the quality of this. So let me actually just show you. The moon in Libra is, of course, going to activate the manifestation of this. It's going to revisit this testing of your character. How much can you bridge who you say you are and know yourself to be towards others? Right? This grand air trine that's now in manifesting who you're bridging yourself to be, as it activates these habits that demonstrate this, are aligning with these extraordinarily unconventional grand air trine. All right. To now take these unconventional ideas, understand how these ideas field test with others, how crazy people think what you're feeling and acting off of these ideas are, and how that goes into intensify your place within the entire collective, the higher knowledge from said experience that goes back to innovate your thoughts. Then, of course, as we move forward, we do have the square with Jupiter. Okay. First of all, shout out to those of you born 1995. A lot of you have been ordering from me, getting Saturn return readings, or a couple of you rather. This is really cool because it's nice to see how the North Node is on your Saturn. So if you were born in like 63, if you have Saturn Pisces born in the mid 60s, or you have, of course, Saturn in Pisces because you were born in 94, the North Node is unlocking your karma. If you have the Saturn in Virgo born 79, or let's say like 2008-ish, South Node's going through your Saturn and Virgo. I know my shit. You read this enough, you start to memorize when things were there. And when you're there, it starts to get so much more fun. So with that being said, okay, you in unlocking this, right, are putting yourself in a position with the square of the moon to Jupiter, rather, to now take this active evolution of your psychic energetic body. But let me not sound crazy. Your emotional body, your understanding of character, your psyche, the power of your mind, your psyche that's evolving. You're taking this deeper understanding, and you're understanding with the square how to integrate those feelings, right? The Cancer Libra dynamic is, this is how I feel personally. Okay. I think that you drive me crazy and I want to wring your neck. Like, these are your sincere feelings. But Libra, we're in a public place, right? So now there's social sensibilities. I can bridge that there. I'll probably get arrested, right? Of Libra, of the law and agreements and modicum class. So the square between Cancer and Libra is what I truly feel versus how much of that can I translate. And like Aries, some people don't care. They just go full on brash, and they get the differential from that. Other people balance, right? There's no wrong or right way to do this. It's just letting you know the dynamics. So the moon in Libra is going to give you a societal balanced understanding of how to integrate these evolved feelings, more sincerity, reasonably. You know what? I don't appreciate the way that you treat me, and I would really feel like wringing your neck. I just don't want to go to jail. See the difference? I'm still being sincere, but I'm finding a way to actually communicate and balance this with other people. This integration adds greater depth to the behavioral patterns we are manifesting. Then the moon is going to go into Scorpio, and it's going to now intensify this transformation of our behavior. Virgo is analytical. Scorpio is psychoanalytical. Okay. So first of all, of course, we are going to King Kunk's It's going to have the Yod with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. Now focusing more on how this psychoanalytical depth of transforming our behavior, the activation of this, the mindset of this behavior, through wisdom gained from experience, is being shaped by the integrity of our characters and the uniqueness of our thoughts, and challenged, of course, in completing the 28-day cycle of the moon through all these planets. But with Pluto now feeling the deeper wisdom of what you just went through before we do it again in a week from now, in a week from the 29th. All right. And it's going to now take this balance, this check of how we balance these emotions and then fully express the depth of them. Now that we've balanced really and calibrated where we're taking this. Mars will also begin to square Jupiter, and that's going to really trigger great bursts forward towards other people and making sure that you're not too emotional behind your actions, but you're also incorporating that level of sincerity as well. Jupiter square Mars in Libra can definitely kind of frustrate how much forceful we take action. I have it in Aries, Mars in Aries square Jupiter in Cancer, and Libra. It's going to be definitely much more altruistically focused. But boom, that's what leads us to, of course, okay, this first quarter square. So by the time we get to the moon in Sagittarius, one, it's going to be opposing Uranus. It's going to be sextiling Pluto, and it's going to be trining Saturn. Now, what we were beginning to challenge ourselves to integrate, we're seeing how this is aligning with who we are. And if what you're seeing does not match, you need to change your vision, or you need to adjust this integrity. All right. But really, we adjust the mutable. So you need to, of course, make sure your vision aligns with who you truly are being. But it's this unconventional breakthrough, right? Where 2 weeks ago, before we had that new moon in Virgo, we did have the moon in Gemini. So we activated this unconventionality, which we will do every 28 days for the next 7 years. All right. And by the time we get into the moon in Sagittarius, we're now applying this unconventional mindset to show people unconventionally. Gemini and Sag is show and tell. So now you're going to be coming into more meaning into what it is you're actually thinking, how to translate it, how to see it, but it's also going to be breaking through the ground, the seeds you've sown over the past 2 days coming into the next week. That's where, of course, we're going to continue to move forward. The moon is going to now grand fire trine Chiron and Mercury and take into account this emboldenment. Is that a word? This boldness of our brains and our hearts passionately polishing and expressing these talents we've activated consciously, right? So our sun made us consciously aware of these talents. Now Mercury is mastering it. It's like memorizing the script, right? Or memorizing the performance that we can practice, reading the lines more vigorously. And Venus is smoothing the performance, right? And that's going to flow through Sagittarius moon and now help you understand how to fully express and show that, so that goes back into defining who you are. Okay. Then, of course, by the time the moon reaches the end of Sagittarius, Saturn has now retrograded back into Pisces. So December 2nd, which really would be September 1st, because now it's past 5 and this is universal time. So September 1st, September 2nd, this square is going to be very crucial. This is what's going to begin to complete the initial understanding of how you have maintained integrity in your beliefs. So once again, if God forbid you didn't maintain integrity, Saturn is going to show you. It's going to be like, hey, the life you're living does not support these beliefs. So what are you going to change? You're either going to change your beliefs to match with what you're living, or do the work to change your habits to desperately or effortlessly align to what you believe. Okay. And then, of course, as the moon goes into Capricorn, this is going to fully express this initial 90-degree square that had us break through into this balance. So, of course, Sagittarius is making sure your vision matches your habits. Once the vision aligns with it, we can move forward into utilizing these new techniques. The important thing to understand about this Virgo season is you are activating new supernatural techniques. You activated new abilities in Gemini, new talents in Leo. Now we're going to form techniques based off of them. And by the time the moon is in Capricorn, you're going to understand how to use these new habits. You're going to understand how to use these new techniques. And this is going to help you understand not only utilization, but control. Opposite Jupiter, it's going to harvest these sincere feelings in a way that you can control or order. Okay. And that's going to set up, of course, the moon conjunction to Pluto. And that moon conjunction to Pluto is not only going to reawaken this 28-day cycle, but now before, where it was the full moon in Leo, where we were coming into this higher knowledge of what talents we've broken through, now we're integrating this advanced knowledgeable understanding of how to hack our behavior, of how to integrate knowledgeably everything that we began to balance, strengthen the psychology of, break through the vision and the visual understanding of seeing what it's beginning to look like, drive through the organization and control of, and actually know what it is we are integrating. Know what habits, the knowledgeable understanding of what habits we're forming. Okay. This is where, unlike the Libra trine to Uranus that had us fully express socially these ideas, now post-expression, we're coming into the higher knowledge of the meaning of these ideas. Okay. Coming back around, sextiling to Neptune to align with this reimagination of character with higher knowledge. Boom, baby. That's what brings us to not only the full moon, but now this eclipse period. So by the time we make it to the 8th of September, now you have activated and integrated this new lifestyle. This is where from the full moon, we are going to break through the total change of your life. And that's where, as Saturn gets ready to position itself at 28 degrees, and we have this full moon, I want you to notice how Mercury is catching up to the sun. Because past the first quarter square, as Mercury goes into Virgo, your brain is going to be catching up to your conscious awareness. Everything that your brain is processing is going to catch up to what you're aware of highly analytically and breaking down in detailed fashion how it is this is praying through. So you're aware of it now, but now you're going to be crunching the numbers as, oh, this is how it's coming together. You're going to really see this speeding up. And the moon in Pisces is going to change your beliefs to match this change of your lifestyle. And this is where you're going to be experiencing the total change of your life, especially as the moon goes over Saturn and reinforces now, since the last time it left Pisces, everything you believe. Now that your life is starting to change as you are applying these new habits. Then we're going to go into Aries, reinitiate Neptune. And by the time we come into this Scorpio signature, now every way that our beliefs have begun to change in reinforcing the integrity of those beliefs, we're going to apply relative to who we feel we are, which is in opposition to the moon in Libra. We gained the social understanding and balance of how we want to activate these habits so that as it goes into Aries, we can transform our understanding of our own selves and how we identify with what we're behaving as, and how standing in the integrity of that identity begins to transform our behavior. And that's where, with the moon closing quincunxing Virgo, you're going to now begin in applying this breakthrough to see more transformation of your lifestyle, to the point where by the time it is in Taurus, now it's real. You are now grounding and seeing, Sagittarius signature, the reality, the practical physical reality, tangibly, of how you are breaking through and changing your life. Now, this is very important. As you can see, once we step into the moon in Gemini, we have the moon conjunct Uranus and Mercury conjunct Virgo, and the sun, rather, in Virgo. So I want to take some time, really look at that really quick. Because this is going to be crazy, guys. The September 13th. Now until the end of the month is going to pick things up here and there, right? And then after August 31st, when the moon is in Sagittarius, boom, it's crunch time. It's going to rapidly accelerate with the moon opposition to Uranus. Then we're going to have the full moon in Pisces. And now moon in Pisces is going to square Uranus in Gemini. And it's going to now accelerate even more. And then boom, by the time we reach prime time wrapping, Uranus and Gemini, you're reinitiating this unconventional innovation of mind. All right, trining Pluto and sextiling Neptune. Adding to your vocabulary now that you have shifted and aligned your vision in Sag and your beliefs in Pisces to your habits. Now you're going to complete it by wrapping around the final thought process that supports these habits. Okay, because once, of course, you master your habits, it changes your thoughts. And not only is this going to revisit this innovation, but that conjunction with Mercury and the Sun now brings a powerful epiphany. Because over those next 2 days, right, I would not be surprised. I mean, there's probably major breakthroughs in healthcare that we'll see throughout the rest of the decade, which is not uncommon. And great question. But yeah, by the time we step into the completion of this transit, the Sun, your conscious awareness and your brain processing Mercury have caught up. So now you are processing information aligned with what you're aware of. This is not only activating a brand new Mercury Sun cycle, which now creates new analysis. This is what's going to break you through the activation of these techniques and habits and patterns. And this is where you're going to notice an increasing effect coming into the end of Virgo season in its mastery at the final 10 degrees of how everything is shifting for you. Mind you, August 31st is where you're going to start to see it. The full moon is when you're going to believe it. And by the time we get to the 14th, you're going to be thinking it. You're going to be communicating it. Okay. So this is where we initially begin to complete this. We're now aligning this shift of our ideas with what we saw and believed so that the ideas can align with the habits. The square, like we had at the end of Sagittarius, is now going to be squaring Saturn in Pisces. So whereas we had to make sure our vision aligns with these belief systems, and then we reinforce what these belief systems are, this is an initial integration. Okay, how are my thoughts that are completing my habits aligning with these belief systems? Once we get that square, we're going to apply this change of mind into what and how we're feeling it. This is going to be that 11th house signature through Jupiter, reinitiating that cycle in order to drive fully forward these beliefs and also bring in the rewards, the rich emotional rewards where we feel like we have completed, of course, this habitual integration and establishment of patterns, but who we feel belongs around this new lifestyle. Then we're going to transcend the courage and passion we had to build this before. This is going to make old talents obsolete. And it's nice to see Venus and the moon shifting into Virgo together. And that's going to end, of course, with the new moon at the end of Virgo, okay, at 29 degrees. So it looks like it's actually going to be 29 degrees. I thought it was going to be 28. It is 28. Okay, so let me tell you why this Virgo season, not only do we have two new moons, one at 0 degrees, but the next new moon that we have is directly opposite Saturn. When I tell you that is not by coincidence, that is not by coincidence, it's by design. Okay, they both travel across, but it actually is proper 29 degrees. I'm still going to tell you that is amazing for it to be that exact. 0 degrees and then a 100 an 81-degree opposition to Saturn here. This is the final test, my friends. Okay. So what I want you to see this as is you're building something, and then by the end of the season, you're testing how well it can be sustained. How can it pass that final standardization? Okay. So as we step into the season, you might take a little, prerequisite test to test how well you're competent on this placement test. And then at the end, it's the final test. All right. And not only is it the final test, these are the last time Saturn will be in Pisces until another 30 years from now until the end of the year. Then it'll go direct. And by February, it'll be back in Aries. So this, I can't emphasize enough how significant and how important it is. And Yvette, I got your order. Thank you very much. Oh my God, Raja, I got your order as well. Thank you very much. Beautiful. So this is going to reinforce how well you are in a position to realistically maintain and support the system of beliefs we see in Pisces through your habits. And it's literally a full circle moment, because 6 months ago was where you began the process of activating and sowing the seeds to these belief systems. And by the time we end Virgo season, as you can see, this is where we have fully harvested and broken through said belief systems in the form of habits that will activate at the final level of mastery these new habits. So we're activating new patterns twice. This first one we did the 2 days ago is like learning to ride a bike, right? And you're riding with training wheels. And then after we finish Virgo season and you've learned how to get comfortable with the training wheels, you're taking the training wheels off. This next Virgo moon is you riding the bike with no training wheels, but it is a motorbike that moves at upwards of 100 miles an hour. So it's the shift from like a bike with training wheels to a very fast bike. All right. And now that makes sense of the 2 new moons. You're developing, practicing and mastering a technique and skill, but at 2 levels, one with training wheels, one without training wheels, is the best way I can give that analogy for now. And of course, the 29-degree conjunction is happening at the final level of Virgo, indicating full-on mastery. And this is where, my friends, for those of you who take the honest effort to realistically commit every single day towards any habits, any lifestyle regimen routines, like now until the end of August 31st is the best time to come up with ideas of how you want to live your life. Activate the board. I want to start doing this every day. I want to start doing this every day. And then after August 31st, commit more to that every day, especially starting now. Okay. And I promise you guys, by the time we activate this new moon, you will be activating this new lifestyle you've always wanted to live. And with Mercury and Libra, now the whole purpose of this Virgo season is a montage. What happens when you watch a movie and the montage is over? Naturally, you do what the montage is for. You're all going to step into cuffing season looking so much more sexy and sure of yourselves. And you know, I'm a recluse. I don't really like to have a social life. But that doesn't mean I won't necessarily be social and take advantage of opportunities to go out, right? It is a social season. So by the time we finish this, you will have seen your life has changed. And now everything you've mastered through this montage, Libra season, when we reconvene next month, it's time to present it. So I want you to look at this Virgo season as shooting in the gym. Shooting in the gym. You're working out all day. If you're really about this, you're entering the gym before everyone arrives and you're leaving after everyone leaves. And then Libra season is the playoffs. And this is where now you're really playing. It's no longer time to practice. You had time to do that. Now it counts even more. We're going to demonstrate and apply this change of behavior to now shift and transform our partnerships with other people. And just to give you an idea, Virgo is behavior, Libra is agreements. Your lifestyle heavily influences the relationships you can enter. If you're entering a relationship with someone who has toxic habits and you have healthy habits, that's going to get in the way of your healthy habits. If both of you have toxic habits, you're going to be toxic together. If both of you have healthy habits, you're going to be healthy together. But your inability to get your lifestyle together will impede on you being in a relationship. If you don't have a life, how are you going to be in a position to meet new people? I do the reverse. I've been isolating myself. I'm not trying to talk to anybody. So I just keep to myself. But even to yourself, there's a personal routine that you keep it. And I mean, I know there's some social people that might have a problem with that because you develop your whole identity around socializing with others. I'm a homebody. I don't give a fuck. I still have my Cancer progression. I really honor isolation. I'm not really trying to that's why I'm giving myself 2 years, because that's what my 7-year time skip. I have a 7-year anime time skip. And that's where, all this time alone, I'm going to really finally step out, Jupiter Leo. And outside of that, once we apply this in Libra, and people might call names for it. Honestly, you can SMD. I really don't care. Once we apply this into Libra, right? Whole body gang. That's crazy. Once we apply this into Libra, this is now going to be the demonstration of new habits you have mastered, and you're going to apply these habits in the way you behave with other people. And that's what Libra season does. Now that you've spent 30 days mastering your behavior, now Libra season is going to apply that behavior relative to how you step with others and make agreements and deal with open enemies. Okay. So that's all we got. Thank you guys very much for tuning in to this magic monthly peace report. Okay. Yeah, don't let social media and society fool you. There's a war against homebodies. Is it just me? Or have you just felt more of the disrespect? Like, oh, all you do is stay inside all day and just watch stuff and just do stuff? Yes, I like it here. It's peaceful here. What do you mean? How is that weird? Like, what are we talking about? Okay, I don't know where this came from. As if I can't just peaceful. It's like you going out of your way to mind your business and not bother people actually bothers people. And that's how I know misery loves company, because there ain't no way. I'm literally minding my business. So I don't pay any of that shit any mind. I just keep it. I just stand on it. I keep it moving. I'm gatekeeping access to me. And it is what it is. I don't care how that sounds. Maybe a little bit, but not that much. All right. So you guys are fucking awesome. What the fuck? Are you serious? What the fuck? Dude. I can't help it. Wow. What the hell is this? Wow. That's foul. Anyway, once you have now put yourself in this position to realistically establish, of course, this, right? Yeah. Look forward to seeing this. And this is going to mark the next 3 months up until Sagittarius season of completely innovating and integrating your lifestyle. And this is how you're going to change your life. All right. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. We are going to reconvene tomorrow for the fire signs. For those of you who have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Sun or Rising, but Moon too. And we're going to break down how Virgo season is going to affect you. All right. So with that being said, we are going to do the live readings. But before we do the live readings, I would like to play a message from our sponsors, which is me. And you know exactly what I'm about to play. All right, so let's do it.
Supernatural is an app where you can access exclusive content from the Peace Dealer. On the app features 2 seasons of the Midheaven podcast featuring Beyond the Veil. We also have Mystical Illuminations Television, which features membership exclusive content like the monthly tribe reports and the replays of the monthly peace reports we do every month. We also have exclusive series like World War Zero and Astrological Profiles. These series are examples of content that you can access on the app before they are eventually scheduled to YouTube and other social media platforms. For example, my Planets Through the Sign series will be scheduled to release once a week. However, as they are uploaded on the app, you will have full access to the entire series weeks before any of them appear on any other platform. We also offer easily accessible and interactive courses like my Astro 101 to Astro 105 series that give you a thorough introduction to astrology. We will also be periodically adding courses, and as those courses are available, members will be able to access them. We also have an amazing community that you are most welcome to join and chat with other like minds. It is not necessary to subscribe in order to use this app, as there is also a free default access plan that will give you access to most of the series in the app that are free and publicly available. In order to join, go to the website supernatural.passion.io. You can alternatively download from the App Store passion.io. Once the app is downloaded and it asks to find an app, simply type in Supernatural. Once the app itself is approved by Google and Apple, you will only need to type in Supernatural in the App Store and it will pop up. But until then, those are 2 alternative methods you can use to join us. So with all that being said, I look forward to you joining us on the other side as you become supernatural.
Boom. So I do have the ultimate manifestation playlist that is in the link to my description box below, or just go to my YouTube channel and go to playlist. You'll see it there. In order for you guys to take this to the next level, I highly recommend, I'm gonna say this again, I highly recommend that you watch some of the videos here. I just added this one here. Okay, so I'm definitely check this out. This is really dope. And let me actually change the order of this right now because this one's a banger. All right, so there we go. Check this out. I gave you the theory, and now to practically apply this, utilize the law of assumption. Okay, utilize the law of assumption. GS asked such a good question, right? I wanted to know that I should see this as an opportunity and not delusion. So GS asked, is it normal to expect absolutely life-changing things? Absolutely. There is nothing that is too much for you to manifest. Like, was it normal for me to accept that money flows to me naturally and easily, and then the very next day I receive a check for $700 that I didn't even know I had? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is too delusional for you to manifest, give or take. Okay, so it is normal to, in fact, this whole transit is about absolute life change. So I love what you asked, bro, because none of this is delusion. Even if it feels delusional, because the local brain is going to want to know why you're affirming something that it doesn't necessarily process. You're rewiring the way you think. Okay. So it is always an opportunity. And I invite for you to challenge yourself around how much you can make it absolutely life-changing. And that's why I'm saying, don't try and be too realistic with this. How would you live if you were set for life? And now practice the law of assumption. Your homework is to watch these first two videos. Let me do a new top 3. Yeah, watch these first 3 videos. Okay. Watch these first 3 videos or first 4. That's your homework. All right. You guys do have homework. Watch these first 4 videos. Okay. If you haven't watched it, if you have already watched it, apply what you've learned. I promise you, if you do this, I want you this to be what you do consistently for the next 28 days. I promise you, you will see nothing but results. And that's if you apply it. Don't watch the video, affirm it, and then 5 days later be like, where is it? No. We're not doing that. We're not doing. For those of you who really want this absolute life change, I've given you the breakdown, and I've given you the tools. So we have everything we need. You're all you need. Okay, trust me, you are all you need. But that being said, we've added to that. And outside of that, now that we've gotten that out the way, whew, damn. All right. We're going to do the live readings. Okay. Once again, I have my 50% off sale for those of you who would like readings. And then for those of you who would like a live reading, you are welcome to join the queue. We are, of course, going to start with who was first? AJ. Let's go. AJ, thank you for sending me your chart. I do see that you have, of course, there we go. Aries, born in 1985. Let's go. Let me put it in here too. So I know right off the bat, as an Aries sun, your awareness of this transit is going to be centered around how you're integrating the spirit of your authenticity, your identity, all right, as the original. And this is going to pretty much standard, like I've said, have you really create these new behavioral patterns and put yourself in a position to realistically form new habits, okay? But now as we factor in your rising as a Sagittarius rising, what we know is that, of course, Virgo is 10th house to Sagittarius. And you are completing the cycle that you initially began last year, November, December, when Sagittarius went through your first house. Oh my God, you have Uranus on your rising. You're a genius. Okay, I like that. You can channel high frequency beings. So, wow, you like that for real. That's what's up. And you got the Capricorn moon. I see you, universal individual. You like the all-in-one package. I see you. All right. So now this is really cool because as a Sag rising, you're not only going to instill these new habits, the foundation of beliefs that you've had which now really changed and released unconscious habits you no longer believe about yourself. That was the foundation and comfort zone to support this vision of yourself, which you're doing so unconventionally. Virgo season is going to implement these new habits, which are going to break you through into success. So this 10th house transit for you is integrating routines that are going to break you through real success. And that's where those of you born in the mid 80s with Uranus and Sagittarius, Uranus is now in Gemini. So coming into the rest of the decade, you're the first of us Pluto Scorpios. Actually, it was really Uranus and Scorpio. But no. Pluto was in Libra then. So you're the first of us Pluto and Scorpios to actually break through this opposition, which is really beautiful too, when taking into account, of course, the nature of how innovative and unconventionally you take this brilliant genius vision of yourself and translate that more unconventionally towards others, completing and fulfilling this circuit, let's say. So we have that opposition with also Saturn that's holding this base of operations. Saturn transiting your fourth can facilitate work from home opportunities and, of course, real estate and holding down the fort. But that being said, it's nice to know your MC is in Virgo. The South Node is unlocking success you're meant to have. So when I started working with Astrological, and coincidentally around the time that I started making really good money doing this, the South Node was on my 10th house, and it unlocked that success with which I used to get a new place. North Node, 4th house. All right. So this is really cool. Except my 10th house was in Pisces. It's the other way around. So this is really cool. You can look forward to breaking through the actual game plan over the next 30 days of how to achieve this realistic success. And you want to apply the law of assumption by just literally imagining, thinking, and behaving as the person who's already living it before you see it. All right. And that's where, of course, with Mercury and Venus that will be in Leo, it's going to fully express your Aries placements in the 5th, because I'm using equal signs. I know it looks like some of the houses are intercepted for you, but we will see Aries as your 5th house. All right, even though it falls in the 4th. So it's really the comfort zone you have expressing your creativity. Oh yeah, she's one of them ones, yo. She's definitely one of the pioneers of bringing this, in the way, at least in a modern lens. So shout out to her, shout out to Leo King, shout out to all the people who are out here doing this. But with that being said, you want to look at this as a breakthrough moment. You're going to experience real success. You're going to experience real change around opportunities that are destined to open up relative to your career. So go back to, of course, March, go back to April. It's been slowly but surely building up through Gemini, where you integrated how you communicate these beliefs to others. And now you're going to begin to see it real, so that once we get to Sagittarius season, you're changing your vision of yourself as someone who's accomplished the initial round of these goals. All right. So that's beautiful. I hope that's accurate for you. Please let me know. Does that resonate with you, especially as a Capricorn moon, where you are the great one? Okay. You have the integrity, the soul power, the collective soul power to really move instinctually with that grounded control. It's literally the GOAT. You're the GOAT of all Aries, which is beautiful. A Capricorn signature as an Aries. So I think it's very important to see this. I use equal houses. Okay. I use equal houses. I will blend it with Placidus. So there's a way I use both, but I base it off equal. Then if people request Placidus, I can do that. But yes, if you feel the success coming in, it is coming in. And I need you to walk as if you already have it. All right. And the reality is going to really form around these habits that will pretty much let it know where in your lifestyle to fit it in. And this is everything you've worked for. Okay, what sign do you think is the game changer season? Great question. Game changer seasons to me happen when we have double mutables. So definitely Virgo season. I've been waiting for Virgo season since Pisces season. All right. The first game changer season was Pisces, but Pisces was just sowing the seeds. Virgo season for sure is our game changer season this year. And every mutable sign season will always be so. Every Pisces, every Gemini, every Virgo, every Sagittarius will always be a game changing season. But for sure, Virgo and Sagittarius season. Pisces and Gemini season really set it up. It set up the design, but now we're going to build off of the design. We're no longer just looking at the architecture design. We're literally building it now. And then by Sagittarius season, we're seeing what we've completed building. 3 months of construction. So really good question. All right. And yeah, definitely looking forward to how you guys make the most of this all. Yeah. Woo! Oh, nice. Awesome. So, wait a minute. That makes sense. All right. So next, what we have, or who we have. Wait, what? I thought I did. Huh? I know I did. What the fuck happened with that? All right, whatever. I want to do that again. So next, who we have is, of course, Sharon Stone. Sharon, thank you very much for your patience. I knew it. Mother of God. All right, it is what it is. All right, we good. All right. Thank you once again for your patience. So Sharon, let's see what we have. So we see Taurus Sun, Aries Moon, Sag Rising, and let me see. I do have your chart here. So yep, I do have your chart. So what do we see? Yep, Sag Rising, Aries Moon, Taurus Sun, another creator goddess. So we're back to back with Sag Risings. The creator goddesses are in the building, and I love it. All right. Now, just like I said for AJ, Sharon, this is your success story as well. And this is going to be a success transit. It's very important, once again, to establish, especially with both of you who have early Sag risings. AJ was born in 85. Sharon, you were born in 88. So you're in our group, 88, 89, 1990. We have Uranus in Capricorn. You have Uranus 0 degrees Capricorn and Saturn 1 degree Capricorn. So your 1 degree Saturn is squaring Saturn in Aries. You're finally starting to integrate this God power. And unlike me, who has a Taurus rising, and this power is more philosophical and more higher minded, you're a creator God. You're Sagittarius rising. So this God power, you directly manifest. That's the dopest thing about having Sagittarius rising. Like you guys are powerful as fuck. And now in applying this unconventional level of manifestation, Uranus that is now integrating itself exactly in Gemini is carrying forth this innovation relative to how you take this unconventional nature of your value and what you're worth and communicate it unconventionally to others in innovative fashion. Okay. And as Saturn retrogrades back into your fourth, this is cool because those of you born in 1988, you're going through your nodal return 88, 89. Okay. And let me see. Who had it after? 97 had North Node Virgo. So I would say 2007-ish. But that being said, you know, this is going to reinforce the integrity of beliefs that are the foundation of the vision of who you are, while, of course, maintaining and applying that integrity relative to how your lifestyle breaks you through into your career. So blending Virgo with the 10th house is, what work are you doing that brings you more success? How are these new habits you're applying having you secure more success? But unlike AJ, right, where she was the Aries sun, you're the Taurus sun. So whereas her awareness of her achieving success is going to wrap around how her habits are breaking her through there, for you, this is your creative talents as a producer, because you already exist in the 6th house as a Sagittarius rising. You already are someone who manifests grounded routines. So with Virgo season, this is having you examine what creativity and real talents are fully expressed and how this greater creativity establishes success in your career. How much more fun can you have now that you fully automated and innovated your lifestyle, especially with Uranus that's gone through your 6th as a Sag rising, albeit it has most likely progressed in the Capricorn if we look at the progressed sense. So this is just going to now show you the higher meaning of what you are accomplishing and how that impacts your mindset around your home foundation and the beliefs you're comfortable being supported on or supporting. Okay. There we go. So we also see that you have Sun Jupiter. Man, y'all are some heavy hitters. 29-degree Aries moon is wild. So of course, as Saturn will go back 29 degrees as well, and King Kunks your moon. This is just going, and then also try and square your Venus in Gemini. Oh my God, 29 degrees Venus in Gemini, right? Like this is going to re-challenge what initially happened when it went direct, and to just make sure these belief systems are honored. And that even though times have progressed, you've still either added to it or you're going to tweak it, right? Jupiter sextiling Jupiter in Cancer is applying your lifestyle abundance and evolution that you returned 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024, and are now applying it relative to how you're expanding your boundaries and securing more wealth. This is all going to be relevant Capricorn season, where we have the sun opposite Jupiter. It's wow, bro. She's one of the most powerful souls that exists. 29 degrees moon in a cardinal sign. You are bar none one of the most powerful souls that exists in the whole world of all time. All right. You can actually range it through 29 degrees. 29 degrees of any planet or placement is maximum authority, maximum efficiency, anaretic. It's that at the highest level. And thankfully, I've seen this translated. Like you can see the difference. Not that it doesn't make smaller degrees any competitive or more, but it's really good to see how mastery looks like. That being said, by the time we're in Capricorn season and you are backing your 2nd house opposite Jupiter, this is going to be the first return on investment you've made since this last Cancer season. And investing in the right feelings and the right relationships, progressed Capricorn rising, putting you in a position to expand who you trust more and feel you should move forward with. So Virgo season, which is the 10th house before gross and net pay in your 2nd house in Capricorn, is going to establish this success. It's going to show you how your career has changed in an effort to facilitate this growth and progress. And relative to that, I think that's going to be fun. The whole key of this, the South Node at current is actually unlocking your MC exactly, because it's around like 18, 19, 17 degrees once we end the season. So this is going to have everything literally seem and feel aligned as if it's meant to happen. And all you have to do is just really focus on how it is you want to achieve success, what goals you want to achieve coming into next year. And at the very least, you will gain the game plan around how to achieve these goals coming into the next year, which I think is very, 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 very beautiful. Okay. And last but not least, we do have Christopher Brown. Transit with one card. Oh, I feel you. Okay, good looks, my G. Let's see. So, Chris, please confirm for me, but you were born July 20th, correct? We see you got the Gemini rising. Ooh, you're a divine priest, bruh. I didn't know you psychic. That's crazy. Pisces, moon, Cancer, sun. No. That's not you. This is another Chris Brown. So Christopher Brown, please send to me your sun, moon, and rising so that I can. Oh, that's you? Oh, that is you. Okay, that is not the wrong Christopher Brown. Bruh, this is crazy. Okay, so Pisces, moon, Cancer, sun. You are divinely psychic, bruh. Please let me know. I want to make sure, because I know I did read another Christopher Brown, right? I got Chris Brown. I gave a read to Chris Brown, bro. No, but that being said, yep. 1981. That's you. We have you at Beverly, born in Massachusetts. So July 20th, 1981. So here's the thing. First of all, 27 degrees Cancer sun, second house sun, you really got it like that. You can manifest with your own psychic power and awareness. And it's very important to establish that. The more wealthy you feel, the more shit just starts manifesting for you, for better or for worse. And the reason why this is important is, as a Pisces moon, your soul feels literally everything. You literally, like, Pisces moons are the most sensitive souls because you're feeling the metaphysical. So you have this ESP to tap into beliefs that you directly feel to feel. You manifest your feelings as a Gemini rising, as an angelic embodiment, with which Cancer is that emotional manifestation to drive potency to these thoughts, being the fuel. Okay. So Virgo season, which is this fourth house, is taking the North Node in your 10th. This is the coolest thing about being a Gemini rising right now, because you're unlocking your dream career. The coolest thing about being Gemini sun or Gemini rising with the North Node in the 10th is that you're living your dream job. Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, President Trump, all Geminis, they're living their dream career. Kendrick Lamar is literally touring, selling out stadiums. Trump is the president. You feel me? Like, this is happening for Gemini risings, Gemini suns. It's not just it happened. This is 30 plus years in the making for some of you. So especially more so for Gemini risings, this is not only unlocking the integrity of your legacy, but it is actively putting you in a position to realistically achieve these dreams. And the work you have to do, bruh, is over the next 30 days, because the fourth house Virgo is going to unlock the South Node in your fourth house to pipeline you over the next 6 months, so that by the time you get back into Pisces season, your beliefs have shifted. From March of this year to March of next year, you did the work through Virgo season to add a real basis to these beliefs, so that by December and then March of 2026, boom, you're marveling and being aware at that next Pisces season eclipse of how you made it real. You're not going to have to wait till March, though. You're going to start seeing this breakthrough now, which is beautiful. Okay. And that's where with Saturn and Neptune, there could be some fog, right? There could be some doubt with Saturn where things are looking like they're slow. But once again, this is just mainly to test your beliefs. So as a late Cancer sun, Virgo is your third house, although most of it mathematically will be the second house, because your the third house signature for your 27-degree Cancer sun will not begin until 27 degrees Virgo, which is going to be the new moon. So the new moon, the second new moon we have in Virgo season, is what's going to really now activate your awareness of how your habits are now fully activating the potency of your spirit, your psychic power, through the analytical ways with which you critically perceive and also set your mindset and attitude. So as a Gemini rising, what is the comfort zone of your current mindset, and how are you being shifted out of that comfort zone so that you can be comfortable with a much more updated critical mindset? And the first part of Virgo season is going to be manifesting the reality and real nature of these habits that add to your value and add to your wealth, and provide this foundation as it goes further into your fourth. Now, it's cool because remember, Jupiter is in Cancer. So with Jupiter in Cancer, all Gemini risings are manifesting ridiculous amounts of money. And let's take it even deeper for you, because you were born in 81. So if we look at your progressed chart, you have not only progressed your rising into the end of Cancer, but you're also going to get ready to feel this brand new cycle coming into November, and then again coming into next year, July. So you're actively activating and evolving the liquidity you come into. Great time to start day trading if you haven't already. But like when Jupiter goes in the second house, you get money. You expand the process of you getting money, even if it doesn't happen instantly. Do not be fooled. It's going to expand the pool of wealth you could pretty much spend. Okay. Wait. Oh, yes. Your progressed sun is in Virgo and your progressed moon is in Libra. So that means you recently activated a brand new Virgo cycle 2.5 years ago. No, 3.5 years ago. So congratulations. You're still activating. Now you're manifesting. You got a ton of X. Oh, you good, bro. You good, bro. So you're already investing right. So yeah, look forward coming into Capricorn opposite your second house to see more liquidation and investments come through, more organized investments. But yeah, this is good to know. Throughout the rest of the year, you're going to be expanding your pool of liquidity. The last time Jupiter was in my second house in Cancer, I created my online shop 2014. And that led to all the money that I've been able to make through this, and really just the way I can sustain this. And now it's coming back around. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm in the process of increasing my budget. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, bro, that's what we got. Now you have Saturn and Jupiter in Libra. So Mars is over your Pluto. It's going to really activate all your progressed planets in Libra, which is going to activate more intensity relative to how boldly you express your social creative talents. Because now Libra is your progressed third house, late fourth, and it's still your fifth house. So it's really just having you, launching the astrology website will be perfect. Really defining these skill sets. And Virgo is going to be the work to really lay that foundation and to enable all that to be more and more possible. So that's really powerful. I would say the grand air trines that occur with now Pluto trining your Jupiter and Saturn, and then Uranus trining that is going to stabilize better, because you have the Libra placements to take this unconventional energy and now know the social content. I don't have Libra, so I have the ideas. I could tap into the knowledge, but how to bridge it socially, I just look stupid. You're going to look intelligent as fuck, because Libra is really intelligence, which is applied smarts. It's applied intellect. It's taking the information and knowing how to apply it real time. Now, the card we have for you, underlying theme, we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is talking about really investments in nurturing yourself, raising the standard of higher quality in what you pay for. This could actually be a woman who helps assist how you manage your money, maybe like a project manager. And the main card we have for you is the Five of Cups. So this is like Mars in Scorpio, if not Venus in Scorpio. This is making sure not to cry over spilled milk. But I get the sense that this could be someone who is missing you, right? If we just look at this alone, you're overcoming previous disappointments, past things that didn't work out. And to always remember, there's the 2 cups ahead. It's not all salvage. But intuitively, what I'm picking up with this is that whoever this Queen of Pentacles is probably regretting the way she treated you. Is probably going to approach relative to maybe trying to work things out with you. And I don't know if that's relevant to you or not. I don't know if that resonates with you, because this is what that looks like to me. Like someone who maybe messed things up with you. This is a very grounded, somewhat wealthy woman, or someone who might have earth dominant placements. Maybe this could be how you feel about her, but given the positioning of it, you know, it's definitely very interesting. So let me pull you another card, because I don't like to leave off on the Five of Cups as a note. We also have the Unicorn, baby. So this is your astrology website. 3 of Pentacles is, of course, connecting with the team, or even if you're working by yourself, putting a trade up, right? Like a website. And the Unicorn is your uniqueness, like astrology, right? Astrology isn't the most unique thing nowadays, but clearly this is you in creating what you're doing, taking a unique ass approach to it, letting your true self shine through it. And I really like that, because it's going to really put you in a position to not only set up the things you're working for toward yourself, but to now live the impossible reality. Remember, this is tied to your 10th house Pisces and your moon in Pisces, because you're a divine priest. Like you have a divine elite soul. All right. You have like a god. You're like a god level shaman. All right. The Unicorn is what will set you out from the crowd, so people aren't just looking at another astrology website. Okay. And other than that, that's where we are going to close out this reading. And of course, peace report. You guys stay blessed as always. This was too much fun. I didn't expect to be here for 3.5 hours. Okay, Cuddle Wing Dragon, thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing. Once again, I do have my half off sale, and feel free to join my app. I'm going to get back to, manifesting this new life. And I wish you all more the best. Like we have said, we are set for life. Claim that, live it. Shout out to Esco. Shout out to Michi. Shout out to all of you guys. And until next time,